everyone. Welcome to Amazing Transformations. I am extremely excited to be here with you. I just wanted to come on. I know we've been doing our open forum YouTubes here, and I've been trying to really stay consistent with those so we can come on. And this is for new vegans, experienced vegans, all dietary choices that you make within this diet, everyone helping animals, whether it be you're the raw vegan like me, whole food plant based, if you have some really cool recipes with some vegan items on them, come on and join us. If you're new and you want to learn about being vegan, we are happy to have you because there's also experienced vegans that we have on here. And so I'm just really excited that we can kind of talk about our progress, our struggles, or anything that we want to talk about, important topics, things that we want to discuss within the vegan world and kind of just meet each other. And I want to welcome Vivica to the live stream.
Hey, how's it going?
Awesome. I remember we had you on the stream and did an interview, which I'll share here in the comments if you haven't checked that out. And she's going to come on again with me and tell us how her journey is going. I
Yes.
like your hair.
I cut it. You
I
noticed.
was like, wait, I was like, as soon as you came in, I was like, wait, who's that? And then I was like, oh, I know who it is.
Yeah, I cut my hair, probably like maybe the second or no, maybe third or fourth time I've ever cut my hair in my life.
Really? Oh
Hey,
my goodness.
I didn't plan it. It was just one of those things, ready to start new. I
Yeah.
think after I cut my hair off completely the first time, it kind of started a domino effect of me just being like, I don't know, it's a certain level of freedom you feel.
Yeah, look at this thing. I have two. I need to cut it because I wear it like this anyway. I'm
Oh,
like people like I forget. I think it was Ed Logan. I went on his live stream to talk about like being raw and reverse. Talk about how you can reverse type 2 diabetes and everything.
right.
And what ended up happening is he's like, I had my hair down, and he's like, I didn't know you had long hair. I'm like, oh my goodness, I must
Well,
always wear it like this. I might as well cut it off, right?
you have to style it and play with it, like especially
Yeah.
hair. But I mean, day to day, you don't really get into it. Like for me, also being a mom, my daughter just turned 1, and so being a mom having short hair has been really really great. Because when my hair was longer, I had to do more to it. Like I don't have to do anything to my hair really anymore. Like I wash my hair, it dries really quick. I brush it, I comb it. I mean, sometimes I put moisturizer in it, sometimes I don't. Like, it's just totally fine. Like, but as it grows, which it has started growing, it was even shorter than this. But as it started growing, I had to do more stuff. So I love the freedom of short hair.
Yeah, I think I would like it too because when I literally wash my hair, I notice like it takes like my hair grows more when I'm like eating good too. Like I don't know if you noticed that, but like I drink moringa, which is supposed to help, like hair growth. It has like vitamin A and stuff to make your skin supposed to be soft, and then that combined with now that I'm raw again, like it literally like my nails. I was talking about that last time. My nails and my hair seem to like grow, and it was already long. So like I'll wash my hair and I'll literally have to like make sure that I don't have to be at work or be anywhere for like 2 hours. I'm exaggerating, but it takes me forever to like brush through it. And like, I probably, because I don't keep it as nice as I should. So, I try to like take care of it when I wash it and get it all brushed out because it'll get naughty if you don't with like long hair. Like, it'll just like, it'll be a mess if you try not to like at least brush it a couple once a week, like a good brushing. Probably should people probably brush it every day, but I must be like one of those lazy fruitarian vegans or something. I don't know. But yeah, so for those who don't know us, if you're just joining this live, like for me, back in 2019, I went vegan. I like within a month I had reversed like chronic back pain. I never had any allergies since then. Like I had them since I was a kid, so I like basically have no more allergies. Have no more back pain that I had for like 15 years. I had like just more energy than ever than I've ever had. And I just thought it was so amazing. I like barely if ever get sick or even feel, tired. And I just had more like energy, and it gave me like a passion for wanting to come on and share this information with other people. I've done like a ton of research, and I've figured out there's so many other people like me. And this is when I started the Amazing Transformations, and that's how I met Vivica, who has an amazing like, vegan journey herself, who has written a book and everything. Tell us a little about, your
Yes,
journey.
my journey. I always tell people I never thought I'd be vegan ever. Like,
Me either.
think that you go through life and you're just like you've either always been vegan or that like it was something that you were tied to. Like, no, I never. But again, I wasn't educated. So May of 2019, I think that was COVID time, because I
Hmm.
remember it was like pandemic time is right when was it? It was May 2019, and I was always a self-proclaimed foodie, so I had a page before my current page that I deactivated. It was called Vivica Tries Food, and I would post all the different foodie places that I would go to. And I had recently moved to Texas. I'm originally from Florida. I'm in Florida right now, but I was in Texas at the time, and up the street from my job that I worked, there was a fast food restaurant called Earth Burger in Texas. And it was the very first like vegan fast food restaurant I ever encountered. And like I said, I was a self-proclaimed foodie, so I ate all kinds of foods, vegan or non-vegan. So I was already open in my head about,
Right. That makes a difference too.
yeah, I was already open. And also I had stopped eating cow um burgers. I like to say the animal because sometimes people get disassociated. It's like, oh, I'm eating,
Yes.
no, you're eating a cow. So like
Exactly. I love
I
that.
stopped.
Because like also like, all the like we could name all of those animals just like we name our pets. They all have like personalities, and that happened later on for me because I started like to lose weight, which I did. I lost, a lot of like 50 pounds and everything, and that's how it started. But like about like 6 months in being on the vegan groups, you tend to like your mind opens up to that, right? And then it like came together like, wait, animals, like why was I disassociating myself with other animals and not my dog or cat?
Yeah, I mean that's totally a thing. I guess you kind of get completely, you are disassociated. If you think about it, when you go to the grocery store, the chicken has already been sliced, diced. I mean it's been defeathered, the head has been cut off, it's been, everything has been processed, sometimes deboned, everything. They've separated every aspect of what makes the chicken, for example, a chicken. So when you get the chicken and you put it on your stove, you don't think like, oh, this was once a whole chicken, because you don't ever see a chicken with its head on it. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
I think the very first time that I ever saw that, like in the wild, as you say, was going to like the Asian market where they would sometimes have like the full. So I would see like they'd have 4 duck heads in the package, and
Oh
it,
my gosh.
with the eyeball and everything, and you're like, oh my gosh, like that kind of. Then you realize it, but I think especially in the West or in America, we're completely desensitized to
Yes.
sort of thing, because in other countries being vegan or even vegetarian is way more commonplace. Like it's only in America that we have such a tie to meat, 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 or animal flesh, animal flesh, animal flesh, as much as we do. But anyways, so May 2019, I went to this vegan fast food restaurant in Texas, and I got to the drive-through, and there was a QR code on the drive-through.
Hmm.
It said, "You have been lied to." And I was always one of those like super investigative people. I have a bachelor's degree in mass communication, so I was like investigative journalist. What have I been lied to about?
Right. Like what
I
am I?
I had my boyfriend, and I had him take my phone, and he scanned the QR code. And like I said, I'm a mass communications major, so I'm also really big into film and stuff like that. So when he scanned it, it opened to YouTube Dominion.
Oh, right.
I,
Wow. If you guys haven't seen that, well, I think so Marakita, who comes on here, she just shared the video of it. I'll have to share it on the page or on
it's
the
a
link.
watch. It's a must watch. And so I was like, it was my off day actually, and I went to Earth Burger because they had really good vegan food. I even went on my off day. So I was in the car with my boyfriend. We went and got our vegan food, and I was like, okay, we're gonna eat our vegan meal, and we're gonna go to the house, and we're gonna watch this movie. I was not vegan at all at this time. I was a meat eater, but like I said, I was open. I was a foodie, and so I get to the house, and I have my food there, and I'm watching it. Like
Aren't you glad you had vegan food while you were watching that at that moment?
that's what I'm about to tell you. I remember distinctly sitting on the couch, and like I had my spread out, my food ready to grub, and I couldn't even eat. Like it was from the very first minute of the movie, I was completely captivated. And I remember like 5 minutes into the movie, I was like full on in tears. Like I was in tears. I was like, oh my God, like my life has been a complete lie.
Right.
I remember I that movie was kind of traumatic. I'm not gonna lie. Like I only watched it in its entirety one time, and since
Mm-hmm.
then I've watched parts of it. So I'm not gonna lie and say being vegan was always easy. Hi Tessa.
Hey, Tessa.
I'm not gonna lie and say that being vegan has always been easy. In fact, I feel like it was a conscious effort. Like when I watched the Dominion movie, I was like, it was a more of a morality thing initially. It was like I didn't know this was. I mean, I knew it was a thing, but I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know it was like how it was. And so watching it, it just opened my eyes, and I was like, I could never, you know, I was like, I'm eating all these animals. I can't tell you how many chicken, how many cows, how many pigs I've eaten in my lifetime. So I was like, if I'm eating this, then I need to know how it's processed, where it comes from, all that stuff. So I committed myself to watching it. And then ever since then, for like the first year that I was vegan, not even the first year, probably the first 6 months when it was like a little bit, it wasn't even harder, but whenever I had the inkling of like, oh, I want some whatever, I was like, I have to watch this movie. It was like, Vivica, to my
Right. It's like your
like,
remotivation.
watch, you want to eat this animal, then watch this movie again. And whenever I think about it, it's like, I'm not going to watch this movie again. So I
Mm-hmm.
never picked it up because it was just a morality thing. But the crazy part about it is so interesting. You mentioned the health aspects. Like the health aspects were great. Okay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I lost weight. I didn't lose 50 pounds. I think I lost maybe like 15 or 20 pounds. But
Mm-hmm.
still, I lost a lot of weight. As far as
Well,
like,
initially I went in on like completely raw vegan. So I think that's why I lost weight so quickly because I wasn't eating any of the goodies, let's put it that way. Like once
oh,
I incorporated the cooked food again, which before I went back to where I am now, like that, there's like so many good things you can put together and I feel like I did pick up a little bit of weight at that point because there's just, you're putting a little bit more like substance in, I guess you would call it, and there's too many good recipes when you're like I guess whole food plant based, but then I kind of went into the veered into the processed kind of food and then I kind of got myself together with that. Like what am I doing with eating all this processed stuff too? Like I might as well go, I kind of went full circle and tried every segment of the vegan diet. Yeah, Tessa, I don't watch them anymore, and I'll be honest, I never watched all of Dominion because I was already so vegan, if that's a word, when I watched it that I was like, oh no, I don't need to see this. Like, I already know. Because if I had watched it early on, I would have, that would have turned me vegan then.
yeah, I committed myself to watching the entire movie because I wanted to know everything. And
Hmm.
I didn't want to have the excuse of like, because I mean, knowledge is power, but once you know something, you can't unknow it. And, I know so many people, like, I even sent the movie to one of my relatives, and I was like, you have to watch this movie. And she was like, oh, it's too damaging on my psyche. And I kind of like to myself, like, too damaging on your psyche, but like literally an animal is dying at every single meal that you're eating, but you
But
can't
you're okay with that in your psyche,
like
right?
you can't watch the movie, but like you can contribute to it. But then at the same time, this relative I actually lived with for quite a bit of time, her cholesterol dropped over 120 points in the time that I was staying there, and she says that everywhere she goes, she's like, when Vivica was living with me, my cholesterol dropped 120 points, and
That's awesome.
I was like, it's the cholesterol, it's the animal fat in your diet. It's like if you're eating a bunch of animal fat, it's gonna contribute to your cholesterol. When you don't eat animal fat, your cholesterol is going to drop. That's what literally causes it.
Cause and effect, right?
So interesting, because when I would eat vegan stuff, she's like, "What is this?" Like, one of the cheeses I put her on that she liked was called Chow cheese.
Oh, I love it. I always talk about that was my favorite. Like that tasted there's actually a video of my sister trying that and saying on camera because she's not a vegan how it tastes like it doesn't even taste vegan. Like that's,
It melts very good. Like, my thing is, I make bread from scratch. Okay,
hmm
my bread
I've
from
seen your videos. You guys got to check out her
scratch.
Instagram if you want to see some good stuff.
I make my bread from scratch. So you get the fresh bread, and then you get the cheese, the chow cheese to go with it, and then you get your favorite toppings. So sometimes I'll do like avocado, or you could do tomato, whatever you want. You can't even tell a difference. It's so good. It's actually really good for you, because if I remember correctly, the tomato cayenne cheese is made out of coconut.
hmm
So it's, that's really, really good. So yeah, that's my story. I went vegan overnight. So end all be all, long and short of it, I watched the whole movie. And at that point in time, I went vegan immediately. Like, I was like, I'm done.
You know what is interesting about you two already being a foodie is you already had kind of probably that creative, I don't know, not creative gene, but maybe creative, like, part in you that could combine foods. And now it was like a new, like, experience for you just combining. Now it had to be this, you had this stipulation on it, but it actually, like, I've heard other vegan chefs say that it actually opened up, like they actually like preparing vegan food now because it's not like, oh, I just have these three choices of meat. Now it's me putting together flavors, and that's why I was like, excited when you mentioned you might be interested in trying the raw vegans. I'm like, oh, she can make recipes because me and Dawn were trying to make these. Like I was thinking of making these vegan, raw vegan wraps. I've seen like commercials, YouTube videos. They make all the ingredients, the batter and stuff like in their food processor, and then they pour it in the dehydrator. And then this morning we realized the dehydrator has a hole in the middle, so that it's one of those that has like the trays. I'm not sure why they have holes in the middle, but I'm like, so we made these. We tried to make cucumber chips, but we didn't realize they took 10 hours to
Yeah,
do. So I'm like, they're not going to be ready by the football game. I'll tell you that.
it takes a long time for sure. Yeah, yeah. No, it totally is that way. And I have to admit, that's the thing that made me go vegan overnight, because the initial thought process that I had, and I'll tell you my whole journey of being vegan, I have went through the whole spectrum. So when I went vegan overnight, it was a morality thing. It wasn't as much of a health thing. And in fact, I didn't know much about health things in general at all. Like, I
Mhm.
wasn't absorbed into that. Like, I had only known what I knew, you know what I'm saying? And so I literally is like, okay, I had chicken Alfredo last night. Well, I'm vegan now. I'm going to figure out how to make vegan chicken Alfredo.
Right.
And so it was like, okay, I take butter and I get vegan butter. I take chicken and I get vegan chicken. I
hmm
Alfredo sauce, and then this is how I do it. So they have vegan whatever you want, vegan
Yes.
cream,
I
vegan.
think that's a misconception a lot of people have that I talk to. They're like, I wouldn't know what to eat, but literally, or it's going to be boring for me. And it's like, you know, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be any that much different than your regular diet, basically. Like, if you want it to be, if you just want to replace everything, that's doable. If you want to do something completely, like just consume whole foods, you can even do that. There's recipes too, right? Like you can still.
I mean, my argument to that, because I've heard that from many people, especially my family. My argument is this: you guys eat the same thing, no matter what diet you eat. Like, even let's look at the chicken, beef, pork, steak, whatever you want to call it. You generally will eat the same kind of stuff. You're not remixing how you cook your chicken every single week. Generally, you're gonna make the same kind of chicken dish, the same kind of beef dish,
Yes.
the same kind of pork dish. So it's not really the same thing, but it kind of is the same thing with being vegan. It's like, you're gonna find your happy medium in what works for you. You're not gonna be trying to eat.
A
Oh,
new recipe every night, right?
really not. Nobody has time for that. Nobody feels like that. And even when you go to restaurants, restaurants generally make the same type of food. Okay, they're not remaking something 100% different than somebody else. It's generally the same kind of stuff wherever you go. Okay, and a lot of places have vegan options now. I mean, really, a lot of restaurants do have vegan options. We're not in like the early
Yeah.
veganism where there's absolutely no options. I mean, there are some places that are like that, but generally their food isn't even that quality anyway. Any place, I mean, even franchise restaurants like Cheesecake Factory. I went to Cheesecake Factory with one of my friends a few weeks ago who's not vegan, and she ended up eating vegan with me because they have vegan options. So,
Mhm.
you know, I think some of it is just an excuse because it's like whatever you actually want to do, you'll do. What
Mhm.
you don't want to do, you'll make an excuse for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the end all be all. So, anyways, my journey with being vegan. So, I was like the junk food mix vegan, just making everything vegan. And then I was like, I don't want to eat all this processed stuff. You know,
Mhm.
the processed type of person, anyways, except like the vegan fast food restaurant I went to. But, the dog that's here with me, he's over there in his area. He can't get to me and he's crying because usually I'm playing with him.
Oh, you
But if
can bring him on camera if you want.
yeah, I will later, but he'll be jumping all over me. I wouldn't even be able to talk.
Oh, okay. He's not gonna calm down even then, right?
No, he doesn't. He will be in my lap, jumping up and down, looking me in my face.
My
So
new kitten hasn't came in. He's sleeping, so luckily we're animal free zone right now, right?
love cats. I love animal. Well, we're talking, but yeah, I love animals. I love, and that's another interesting thing. I don't know if you've come across this, but a lot of people be like, I love animals, but then it's like you only love certain animals. Like you love
Yeah.
animals, and then you love other animals maybe, but you
Yeah.
don't because
You
if
know,
you
that's one of the things I was thinking when you mentioned that, like that disconnection. Like, that's one of the things I felt like my whole life. How did I never connect? Like, why was it okay to eat this animal now that I think about it? And why is this animal, we put them in our home and pay, for them to eat? And we treat them like our family, but like this other animal, just because someone said this is the one you eat, like it didn't, all of a sudden nothing made sense. And then, like, the more I learned in this, like you said, even with all the health stuff, the lies that I've been told, you need meat, you need milk, you need red meat for protein, and then like what you said about cholesterol, like everyone who takes meat out of their diet has some type of problem solved. Like in regular, well, people say, well, I cured with paleo or whatever. But I mean, some stuff, it's what you're taking out. I mean, if you cut down your diet a lot, obviously you're going to get better, but to technically like clear out your body, and then I noticed when you said cholesterol, I heard Jeff, I think Palmer, talking the other day on his live. He was like, yeah, people will say you need cholesterol because your body makes it. It's like, yeah, but think about it. Your body already makes it. You don't need all that added cholesterol from the animal. You know what I mean? Like, that's, they take one thing and like try to stick that on, yeah, but you should eat meat because you need cholesterol. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, that's not true. Okay, hear me out on this, right? There's a few different points to that. Out of every being that exists on Earth, humans included, humans are the only species that cook their food.
exactly.
Every other species eats their food raw. Full out, okay? So technologically we're able to cook our food and that's great. There's so many wonders to be held when food is cooked. Like certain mushrooms are only safe if they're cooked to a certain temperature, or they only release certain chemicals that are beneficial to you once they're cooked to a certain level, and vice versa, being raw. But the reality is, we're actually made to consume our food raw.
In its natural state, right? Like,
And we're naturally, if we really want to get down to it, as far as our intestines goes, our teeth, the way our body processes food, we're technically fruitarians.
frugivore, right?
Frugivores. Yes, we're
Yep.
frugivores, meaning, you walk outside and you pluck an apple off the tree and you eat it raw. You don't do anything to the apple. That's technically what we're made to do. So the whole argument about you need meat, can you eat the meat raw?
Right. Or are you even like, if you even go deeper than that, like if you look at every other animal, like you said, they all have a certain digestive like physiology that this is what that animal's meant to eat. There's no animals where if animals could talk, you wouldn't be able to go to every single wild animal and say, "Oh, you eat like that and you eat like that and you choose to eat like this." No, they all know inherently what they're supposed to eat. They know what they're attracted to. And like technically we do too. We've just gotten so far away removed because of culture and different like, things that we've just been handed down and things that we've been taught. And the media has become important in our psyche now that we can't identify with it. And you're right. And when I say that to people, they're like, no, that can't be true because they don't want to like, but it like, to me it's not really an opinion. You can choose to eat other ways, but like the way we're designed, you're exactly right, we're designed to be a fruit based person, like animal, because we're just the same. Like we don't go out and like, I don't see an animal and be like, I could take a bite out of that right through the flesh.
I mean, you get disgusted by the smell of, if you take, I mean, you have to think about even the preparation of it. Other animals eat the animals whole. I'm talking about like feathers and everything.
Yeah.
They eat the feathers, they eat the bone, they eat everything. And it has a beneficial capacity for them as far as like cleaning out their bodies and stuff like that. Humans, we do not have that benefit. In fact, it can make us very sick and build up the uric acid in our body, which causes all kinds of diseases and ailments and inflammation in the body. We're not made to eat it, and we're not made to eat raw animal flesh. You know that even just from your own senses, when you smell a piece of, and I hate to just like make it, I'm trying to just make it plain for people, but if you smell a dead animal, you're not like, oh my gosh, that smells so great. But if you
Right.
smell a very, very ripe orange or apple or banana or something like that, you're like, oh, that smells
Got
so.
mine right here.
I mean, you can literally tell if a pineapple is ripe enough by like smell or touching it. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
to, well, not unique, because other species also are frugivores or vegetarian, vegan. But I'm just saying we're made to be able to sense those types of things based off of
Mhm. And
five.
it doesn't mean that we don't incorporate anything else. Like they may eat some leaves sometimes if they can't get the fruit. Like, and then it goes even deeper into the mono meals, which I've been doing a lot lately, where like animals don't tend to mix their food up a lot. So like it even is easier on our digestion to eat one thing at a time.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not supposed to combine all these different things. Like, we're really supposed to be eating more simply than we are, but we're definitely, definitely, definitely not supposed to be eating meat or animal flesh. Like, it wasn't made for our bodies. I mean, and there is definitely a complete detachment as it concerns like humans and animals. I'm sure that it's directly from uh just the media and society today, because like I said, in other countries it's not really even that way. And it's really a shame that in order for me to get the education or information that I got from watching the Dominion movie, I had to find it on my own, because there's so much
Right.
information that's pushed in your face about why you should be drinking milk or why you should be eating meat, or it's just readily available or in your face. I mean, you should see how many people there's Chinese American restaurant near me, fast food restaurant near me, and my favorite thing to get from there is the General Tso tofu. So
Yeah.
General Tso chicken, but it's tofu.
I love that.
Easy, because whenever I go in there, the people that run the restaurant, they know me. They know that because like I'm the tofu girl.
Right, right. That's how uncommon it might be
It,
for people to order that.
it's very uncommon. But then the people in the restaurant, they look around at me like, tofu. Like they make this face, and it's like, you guys haven't even tried it. You haven't even.
Right.
You just don't know about it, you know. And sometimes people ask me questions, but a lot of times it's actually from a place of judgment. Like, is that good to you, or why are you eating that? You know, it's very people
Yeah.
are very critical about things that they don't know, and sometimes people are tied to that identity that they have, because the reality is, as I mean, for me personally, as I've become vegan and even more plant-based, because I would say I'm more plant-based vegan now, which we can get into that because I do want to talk about the raw side of things. But as I've gotten into that, it's kind of felt kind of isolating sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, especially
Absolutely.
during holidays and stuff like that. Like, it makes it kind of hard for me because I go home and there's nothing for me to eat on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes a whole topic. Like, I'm not even the one that says, "Oh, I'm vegan." But if there's
Right, right.
town or something, they say, she's vegan. And then people ask me a bunch of questions, and then I become like the vegan god of
The preacher, right?
like, and I don't mind educating people, but then it's like I'm coming to a place where I'm not even generally, I shouldn't say I'm not welcome, because obviously I'm welcome with my own family, but I just don't feel comfortable because,
Mhm.
like, I don't generally, the way that my lifestyle is, I don't smell cooked animals. I don't go
Yeah,
places where they cook animals. I'm not really as much around people as they're eating animals. And
yeah,
it is a feeling of isolation, and so sometimes people hold on to that sense of their identity as far as like being a meat eater, because that's where they get their belonging from, their community from, is with their family. And I know for myself, with my family, food was a real integral part of my existence. I mean,
yeah.
if birthday, if somebody got married, if somebody died, if somebody graduated, if somebody had a baby. I mean, I want to know what you think about this. But I have, like, one of the things I'm struggling with right now is my daughter. She just turned 1 last week, but she's going to be having, I've been going back and forth about having a party for her, because
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, one, I don't feel like cooking a bunch of food for a bunch of people, which I don't mind that. I really don't mind doing that, but it's like it comes from a place of not really accepting it either. It's going to be like super critical. Where's the meat? Why don't you have this here?
Yeah.
This and then. It's like, I'm not going to do that. Like, my daughter is vegan. She was
Hmm.
in the womb vegan. She's a year. She's
That's
vegan.
amazing.
I'll,
Congratulations.
thank you so much. I made it to a year breastfeeding. Yay.
Yes, that is awesome.
Oh, so, and then that's another thing. People are super critical of me breastfeeding my child, but it's like, you guys are 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old drinking cow's milk. You
Right, right. Like, and this poor
are,
child can't, like, the longer you breastfeed until they're ready, that's like, it's just like so many things are myths and like just widely accepted inaccuracies that will drive you almost crazy when you really learn, because it's almost like I just watch TV and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, like just all the things that are shared on TV, all the pharmaceutical commercials, and then you see immediately after it a meat commercial and then a milk commercial, and or whatever it is,
pizza
something with milk or cheese and pizza, and like it's a
long,
cycle. Like, it don't you guys like come out of that matrix with me? Like, and then for kids, somebody said the other day, you can feed your kids McDonald's every day, but no one says a word about it. They're just like, yeah, you're doing what you have to do, or meat all the time. Like, if they knew how dangerous I knew meat was, and some of the stuff, the chemicals that we're putting in that they're giving their kids, it's like it's going to be like, I feel like, let's say like 100 years from now, people are going to look back at this era and be like, people used to give their kids meat. Can you believe it? Just like now, when we all got like cigarette smoke inhaled into our lungs when we were kids, if we grew up in a, it was just widely accepted that everywhere just smoked. But now it's so different. People are like, oh, it's taboo, you shouldn't smoke, and I feel like we're just in that revolution with some of the 4% or however many people are vegan on the whole planet that know this information, and we're looked at right now like the crazy people. But like, when they look back on this, I probably won't be alive, but they will say, hey, this was a time. It's like how it's going to be when everybody was doing whatever that we didn't know about.
Yeah, I mean, totally. And it's like once you start questioning one thing, you start questioning another thing. So for me, I really feel like this is going to be another unpopular thing to say, but I really feel like my vegan lifestyle led me to have an easier pregnancy and even childbirth.
Hmm.
As a result of just everything that I learned as far as just food and everything, morality surrounding things, I learned so much. I actually gave birth to my daughter unassisted at home with no complications.
Nice. Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Day, walking around, cooking, like driving, doing whatever. It was really, really easy for me, and I really think my healthy lifestyle contributed to it. And even as far as it concerned breastfeeding, like I think I valued breastfeeding more because I
Yeah.
realized how important it is. It's like
Like,
human.
this is the milk that's meant for my baby, and cow's milk is meant for cows. Like, once you have that revelation, it amazes me why we're the only species talking about that eats like cooked food. We're the only species also that drinks another mammal's milk that I've learned.
Yeah, we're the only ones to do that. No other, and also the other thing I was going to add to that is no other species drinks milk post infancy.
Right, right. And
So
that's designed to make a cow grow to that magnanimous
side
level.
calf turn into a cow. Yeah, and it's not meant for us. I mean, and that's another thing too with the food. They put so much stuff in the food. I mean, even with the thing people don't even realize, and I just saw this as well, Jen, is people always think about how come if we're meant to be eating animals, right? How come all the animals that humans eat other plants? They eat
Right,
they eat plants. They don't generally eat other animals
right. And they're the ones we choose to eat.
because we're looking for the byproduct of what they're eating, which is the plants.
Hmm.
Even said with the grass-fed beef, why is it so important that
Why
they're
don't you just eat the grass, right?
I mean, you just exactly. I mean, not literally the grass, but I'm just
I know
saying
what you mean, but
the
take out the middleman of those, you
this
know.
correct. And all protein comes from plants. People think that the protein comes from the animal. The protein comes from the plants that the animal eats.
Right. And there are things like, you know what, also, like, the more I've delved into food and nutrition and things, like, I mean, I've gotten, like, over the last year, I've went probably way more in depth that if somebody was just becoming vegan, I wouldn't even go into, because I'm like, I'm just happy you're eating vegetables and fruits, and vegan stuff. Go for that right now. We'll talk about, you'll learn all this, like, if you want to go into it later. But I noticed that you can find something good in just about everything. Like, they do it on boxes of stuff. You'll see 9 essential vitamins and minerals. Let's not mention all of the, crap that they're putting in it in addition that's bad for you. And even like you said, so I started thinking about food like that. Like, technically, if you can't eat it not cooked, you can find something good in it, but it doesn't mean that you're not also giving yourself like more bad than good. Like, you can say meat has, you can find one little thing that, oh, it has iron in it, right? Okay, but so does, like, a ton of things in the plant world. That's where the iron is literally, you know what I mean? Like,
And
it
the
doesn't.
problem too is the fruits and vegetables a lot of times have been stripped of nutrients as well. I
Mhm.
mean, the reason why you can't get those things generally from the plant and people go to the animal is because they put all kind of hormones and chemicals in the feed that the animal eats. So it's not even inherently coming from the animal, it's coming from what they're putting in the animal feed.
Yeah, that's so true. And even with our own, like, fruits and vegetables, it depends how the quality of the soil is. So, like, there's like arguments of people that say, should you supplement? Even if you might be fruitarian, you might still need to supplement, because we are not growing our own food. We don't know what kind of soil that's been used for profit, or how much pesticides been, you know, sprayed on stuff, because you can't always find something organic or seeded. I'm hearing people say, oh, I don't like to eat things that aren't seeded, but around here, there's more stuff non-seeded in my grocery stores than has seeds. So, like, it definitely shows you that even not even to the point of and like we were saying with meat, I don't know if I finished it. You can get some one nutrient out of it, and you're also getting high cholesterol, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. Like that's one thing I always preach about is people think sugar causes diabetes, and it's the fat that causes it. You know, the fat can cause so many issues, animal protein, that people don't realize. And I just watch everybody on medication and getting sick, and it's like, geez, if you would just, just open your mind to it. You don't have to change all the way like you and I did, like just immediately overnight. I think sometimes it depends what kind of person you are. I just figure something out and stick to it. But like, even if you just reduced your meat, you would start to see improvements. I think you should clear out of it, but it's like, why not just open your, I think because people are afraid of change. Sincerely, I think like you just said, our comfort foods, our family social settings, like right now, how many millions of people are eating chicken wings, because it's Super Bowl Sunday or whatever, and like it's like not realizing it. And it's not even just today, there's millions of them sold, right?
Right. I'm gonna move. I'm still listening, but I don't want to upset this dog. He's getting more and more upset because I'm not
I
playing.
just totally, like, I tune things out. Like I forgot he was even doing that after a while, but I think that's true. People listening might still hear him, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm
They'll be
just
like,
move.
they're upsetting the dog.
No, I'm totally not. He's totally fine. He just wants attention, but I can't do both of these things. I can't
That's
do the
cute.
video and whatever.
Right.
I'm gonna turn my camera off for a sec because I don't want the front of my house to be shown in case
No
people
problem.
people are crazy. But
Yes.
I'm still here. I'm still here, but yeah, no, it's totally, it's so interesting, and I'm happy you mentioned the Super Bowl. Like the Super Bowl is totally one of those times where people kind of unconsciously just consume, and it's just platters and platters and platters. Like,
Whoops, you're cutting out a bit. I think we lost her. I think she was mentioning about all the food that's being served. Let's bring her back in. There you are.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's cutting out just a
Turn it
little
off.
bit right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me see
While
if I
you
can.
did that, just really quick, I'm still here too. I'm just gonna open my window because it's actually getting warm. I just realized I've got Dawn's little logo up there. It's good that her channel was JJ Video though, and mine is, my initials are JJ, so it kind of worked out. Let me change that. Change avatar. There I am. Yeah, it's just and the funny thing, even through all of this, as we're talking about this, I know where their head is because I was there. And I'm like just so thankful that, and after 42 years, to be able to just open your mind to that. Like it takes a special person to deal with all of that, like socially and culturally, and be okay to stand firm in your beliefs once you figure these things out. And like, it's not like something that it's not, it gets easier as time goes on because I've figured out ways to kind of navigate it. But you're right, it's still uncomfortable in a lot of situations when you're in your own world. And like, when you, especially if you either live alone or like you and your family might be vegan in your house, but then when you go out, and you get exposed, like, I mean, and then it's like sometimes you want people to try the vegan food. And I saw this meme the other day, someone shared, it's like, yeah, until you tell them it's vegan, and then they, like, like you said with the birthday party, but there's a lot of good like vegan stuff that you could, I'm sure, get for that. It is difficult though, like I've gone through periods of time where I just bring my own food. Like when I went to Thanksgiving, I didn't want to be tired like on the way home. And even though I was eating some cooked food then, I just brought a bunch of fruit with me, and like I looked like the crazy lady. We showed up with like this bag of like oranges, and everybody was eating a clementine at Thanksgiving, and then like at Christmas, I had my grapes with me. I was on like a grape kick then, and we were like hanging out. And then when people come here, they eat it, but it's different when you go into social settings because you are like, you don't eat that, and then people start asking you, "Is this vegan?" Like, so we went to like out to eat, and whenever we do that, like when people come to town here, it's weird because like it is strange, but like I think it makes people curious, and I'm always happy to talk about it because it might open somebody's interest, in it. So it's just an interesting, definitely an interesting concept because it's like I was that person with that disconnect. So I get it. I get how you don't want to think about it. You want to just say, like, oh, well, you can make up reasons like the animals are here for that purpose. Why? Then why isn't the dog here for that purpose or the cat? Like it doesn't, no animal was put. And then the problem is we're breeding the animals, taking up all this land just to make them suffer and kill them. Like it's an insane practice that we've been culturally adapted to, and I never thought about it in that realm until this video that had nothing. I didn't even watch one. I watched something about growing microgreens, and then the next video that came on we watched was these people healing from living foods. And like, no wonder we're living from healing foods. That was our human diet. Like
Exactly.
it's like everything clicked at some point. Like, okay, that's what's happening. We're eating what we're supposed to. Imagine that, and we're healing.
Exactly. If I can add to that before you move on, I'm sitting in my car now, okay? Because I was sitting outside and the dog was barking, and then I went inside and the connection wasn't good, and my baby's sleeping. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just come sit out in my car. So I hope you don't like that. But that was a thing for me too. It changed my life. Like going vegan was one of those things that changed my life. And I don't mean to make it like a religion or anything like that, but it really made me even change or contemplate my own religion
Mm-hmm.
personally, because it's like I grew up Christian.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up Christian, but then I see at every single event, function, whatever, there's animals, dead animals eaten and consumed. I mean, there was a joke even at the church that I used to go to. Before we every fourth Sunday we had this big like dinner where
Mm-hmm.
everybody would, and even in the neighboring areas would come because we had free food. I mean, it was a bunch of food you could eat. And it was like almost like a potluck. So people within the church would bring stuff and some stuff would be catered. It was just a big thing every fourth Sunday. And it was a way of getting people to come into the church because people will come. If you have food, people will
Yeah.
come. That's another thing too. It's like if you're having an event and you have food, people will come. But the thing that was interesting is this preacher, before dismissing and he did the prayer for the food, he made a joke almost, but he was being serious. He's like, many chickens have died that we might live. And it was supposed to be like really funny, like. But I'm like, interesting. It just really made me think. It's like you're supposed to be like love one another, treat others the way you want to be treated, and
Yeah.
all that. And yet
And then
that's
the
not
thing is,
happening.
you don't need the chicken to die to live because you're not even supposed to be eating it. That's the part that really
That yeah,
will
that
get
part
you,
too, but
right?
it's also you're making light of it. You know what I'm saying? Do you
Yeah.
not
You're
think
not
that the
even praying
chicken,
over it, right?
huh?
You're not even like saying thank you for you're just like many chick. Yeah, it seems like you're making light of it. That's what it sounded like
Yeah,
you did.
and to me it was just completely desensitized. Like it just really was just like, what? I really didn't vibe with that too much. I didn't like it. It made me feel really uncomfortable. And it was like, I've been going to church my entire life, 18, 19, 20 years of my life at the time. And like nobody, this was never a thing that was brought up, thought about, considered. But then when you look in most or all religions, no religion mandates or says that you have to eat animals, and
Hmm.
most of them say that we're made to be vegetarian, but nobody seems to like talk about that aspect. It seems like people take whatever part of the religion that they like and they run with it, and then
Yeah.
the parts that they don't like they leave behind. But I actually stopped being super religious after I became vegan because I was like, this whole thing is super hypocritical. It's like you love everyone, but you don't love everybody.
And I've heard a lot of like there's a lot of people who I've came across now, like especially like Minister of Wellness, who he has a channel. I interviewed him, and that's where I actually figured out from something he was saying about fruit that we were actually like how our body reacts to it and how it requires minimal like insulin to get in the cell, like. And I was like, okay, so he started quoting Bible scriptures and has like a whole thing called biblical principles of diet, where he actually shows that in that religion that there were many quotes and like scriptures, I guess we would call them, and versions of the that were from the Bible, like the early Bible, that showed that we were like, I've given every seed. I'm not very good with quoting the Bible, but like I've given you, provided you every seed to live, and these are the foods meant for you. And then like there was other people took versions of it and rewrote it, and then it became like different. But like I think even that was trying to tell us to live off of nature.
Yes, I mean the very first instance. Can you hear me?
Hmm.
The
I
very
can't
first
see it, but I
instance
can hear
in the
you.
Bible, Genesis 1:29, and God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed to you, it shall be for meat." So it's interesting to me that the term even meat has become associated with animal flesh. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because even in the Bible it says that the meat for humans is actually fruits. So like
Right.
not supposed to be eating the animals. In fact, our meat, our sustenance that we're supposed to maintain is actually fruits and vegetables.
That is just, and if we really like truly think about it, that like I've heard people talk about coconut meat, like the meat of the coconut, like that's meat is a way that that desensitization happens. I don't know what happened for the poor chicken, why we're okay to say chicken and everything, I guess because we don't look at a chicken like we would a actual mammal, maybe like a cow.
It's societal, because in other countries they have like the dog meat, and people talk about, oh, you know, people in the US get so upset about the dog meat festival, but I'm like, you guys are over here eating every other thing. Like that's a part of their culture. How dare you accuse their culture and you're also eating animals? Like
Right.
it's all animals all the way around. Like you're
And
putting
no one can get that concept.
huh?
People don't get that concept, I think. Like, I used to say that. I remember my first 42 years before I discovered all this, I was like, ew, that I could never eat that animal.
But it's culture.
Like, I'm sure I said it over time. I thought I would think it was terrible if somebody was eating any kind of animal that we consider domesticated here. But like, I was at the same time, I could be looking at an animal welfare thing online, eating a chicken sandwich or a burger, and not even put the two together that I was being hypocritical. You know what I mean?
I mean, I didn't think about a lot of things until after that. I think going vegan was one of those things that made me question everything. Because
Hmm.
before I went vegan, I didn't really question it. It was just
That's how we do it, right?
how you do it. And it was like, I even at my earliest, I said this in my ebook, in my earliest remembrance of like thinking about animals and the fact that we eat them, I remember sitting at home after church. Funny enough, there's a Kentucky Fried Chicken right around the corner from the church, so we got like a family fill up box. And we got back to the house, and we're all sitting around the table talking about what the minister preached and talking about our week and all the things we're gonna do and all that. And we're eating the chicken. I remember biting into this chicken leg, and I looked at it and it wasn't cooked all the way. Like you could see like the blood or like the vessel. And I looked at it and I was like, ew, like that looks disgusting. And I was like, oh, like this is a chicken leg. Like this is the leg of a chicken.
Right.
I didn't think of it like that. I mean, I knew that's what it was, but I didn't
Yeah.
really. It was like, this is a chicken's leg. You know, and I
Right.
was disgusted at that time. It was like, oh, this is a chicken's leg I'm eating, like the leg of the chicken. And so I remember I was asking my dad as he's drumming into the chicken thigh. I was like, should we be eating this? Like, this just seems like this is a chicken leg, you know, as I'm going through this process. And my dad, his answer to me was, Jesus ate fish. Like, Jesus is the best example for us, and Jesus ate animals. Jesus ate fish. And I thought about it, and I'm like, that was an okay explanation for me. In my little brain, it was like, my parents know what's best.
Yeah.
Um, that's a good enough explanation for me. Like, I needed an explanation. He gave me one, and it was like, who am I to question God or my
Yep.
dad? And so I just continued on with my meat eating ways until I got old enough to think about it again. Because then you think about it in the scripture. I don't know how much about like the Bible or any spiritual text you're familiar with, but in the Bible it says Jesus fed the 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish. Well, it never said that Jesus ate the fish. And then I
Right.
went to learn later on as I, was venturing through renouncing religion altogether because of this whole thing, that like the Bible is actually really metaphorical, and that is
Yeah.
metaphysical, and that it's actually talking about us. Like, it's a guidebook, but it's written in a hidden or occult fashion. Like, it's a metaphysical book. Like, there's many different interpretations and meaning. It's a book full of wonder. People have
Hmm.
taken these spiritual texts and made them into like religious texts or religious dogma, but a lot of it is actually really just guidance for you, but it's not written in the way that you're reading it. Like, you're reading it as if this certain thing happened, but it's really written like that so you can interpret it, so it could be preserved
Yeah.
over time. But
Kind of like a
yeah, so it was just
poetry, how it can be interpreted in different ways, but there's usually
exactly,
a meaning that was
exactly.
attached to it. And like it reminds me of like also the part about some people in religion will not drink alcohol or wear makeup even, like you've seen these, the church is very strict with certain things. Like if you drink, you're not welcome, or they might be okay in some religions to drink wine, or, but if you do drugs, it's, that's harming your body, what God made. And, but like, if we know that we're not supposed to, and this is what I think a couple of the religious vegan channels that I've come across comments on, especially when it comes to our health, if we know this is harming us, then you could interpret it that way, that you shouldn't, people evolve and learn things over time, then technically we shouldn't be putting this in our body. It technically would be like putting in something else that's harming this beautiful body that we were given, and the creator made for us. So like you said, there's interpretations of everything, and depending on what you want to believe and what you want to do, because we can justify anything that we want to do. We even self-justify ourselves sometimes, like, if
Should
over
work out.
periods of time, I've done this in my own, to myself, like if I don't feel like working, I could probably justify why not to get this work done right now, but it's not what I should be doing. However, I could say, well, I need a little bit of time. And you here it says in this one book I read that you need to take a little bit of time for yourself, so like you can, I think that's what people do with like diet, and also with not consuming animals. Because I think there are people though who justify that you should eat meat so much so they don't have to change their own cultural beliefs.
Yep,
There's
absolutely.
like, it's not there's like facts, showing that this is what the truth is, but it doesn't matter. We want to believe what we want sometimes too.
Yeah, I mean, it gives us a sense of belonging, I think, sometimes with culture, because for me, it has made it harder. I go places, I mean, I go to people's birthday parties, I go here, I go there, and it's like there isn't as much consideration there, or it's like, oh, here's the vegan, here comes the vegan, you
And
know.
I don't
It's
know if you noticed this too, Vivica, but like now, like talk about questioning everything. Now I look at, like, I was telling someone about like the football thing and like fishing, things that I used to do and support and be like, yeah, they're raising money for charity with this fishing tournament here, hey, check this out. And I'm like, okay, we're raising money for charity. And then like someone was telling me recently they went to an animal, um some type of thing that was supporting animals or rescue. There's like they're serving meat there, and like football being pigskin, the thing we call the football. It's like that's actual skin of a pig that was used. I don't think they use it anymore to make it, but like rodeos is another thing. Like even
Like
all the
the
way to
cancer
the point of
stuff,
horseback riding, you know?
the cancer stuff, like the Susan G. Komen for the cure. If you ever look
Yes.
at the packaging on stuff like that, some of that stuff literally causes cancer,
The
and they're like
yogurt
for the cure.
specifically.
And it's like there's a cure. The cure out there for cancer is not found in the packaged foods. I can tell you that much. Or like the sponsored people. Like if you actually wanted to cure cancer, you would flip the entire medical system on its head, because if you ever notice, healthy people don't ever really need the medical system.
Exactly. And prevention, like you were mentioning this earlier, why don't we ever see on me like why don't we ever see mainstream media say, you know, this we're going to have an entire show like something like this, like a transformation show where we're going to show people who have healed from a plant-based diet. We're going to have these scientists on that show us why meat and dairy is not good for us and why, you know, we need to eat more of a plant-based diet. You might see a 2-minute segment sometimes at the end of the evening news that might say something briefly about. And however, like I have heard that if a certain company sponsors it, and that's why I sound really horrible sometimes that I don't support these major organizations like a lot anymore, because that opened my what the health really opened my eyes to that, like the American Diabetes Association. You know, I used to want to participate in a lot of that, those events and things, but now I'm like, you know, I see what they're still promoting meat in their dietary plan, and I'm like, when now that I know what I know, that's not doing a service for people with diabetes, and it's not helping anybody to you're making people buy more yogurt with these ribbons on it, who which dairy has been known to contribute to it, you know what I mean? So like now that we know this stuff, but it's too far deep. Like Hormel sponsors one of these big organizations. I don't know which one, and I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube. I'm not going to say specific names. I shouldn't have probably done that, but I don't know for a fact like all the ins and outs of it. But I've read some stuff that major organizations are sponsored, and that's why you may not be getting all the complete information. So my point is people need to do their own research. They really need to delve in and figure out, like, don't just listen to this organization, that organization, me, her, anybody. Go ahead and do the research, but look at subjective studies, not like Medline or a pharmaceutical company's study
Well,
either.
people, that's the problem. People don't even know how to research, and their research is listening to the experts. Like the experts in the topic, you have to even research the experts, because sometimes they're also sponsored.
Yes.
They're also being paid to say whatever it is that they're saying. I mean, if you're a dentist making $100,000 a year, which is, I mean, more than what most people will make. I'm burning an incense, by the way. And you're a dentist making $100,000 a year. If you can get some other corporation to come to you and say, we'll give you your yearly salary if you'll just get on video and say you recommend this toothpaste. Everybody doesn't have the same values, and so
Yep.
they recommend whatever it is that you present to them, even if it's not necessarily good, all in the name of an expert. And the
Yeah.
expert know everything, because that's been proven. How many times have doctors said, oh, this is safe, only for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years later, after these people are dead and gone, information come out and say, oh no, actually this thing isn't safe, or no, actually this. Think about, I mean, even what is it, asbestos in the house? You
Hmm.
know, like the siding that people had in their house, people were actively getting that stuff put on their house, and it wasn't until years or decades later they actually found out that was really detrimental to human health. But
That's what
people
I
went
was
to the
saying about
experts.
the smoking. Like they used to have, I shared this before, they have doctors advertising Camels are the right cigarette that gives you the smoothest flavor. You know, like there was actually a doctor on an ad, and I found it. Like I found a ton of them, and people like hospitals. You could smoke in the hospitals. You could smoke in airplanes and airports and restaurants and everything. Like then all of a sudden, oh wait, that's not good for you, right? Like technically cigarette smoke is not good. So now it's widely accepted that way, but it's the same thing. Like we're, like you said, with different I don't know, like there's been like a ton of things that we've done over time that we've learned later on, but if that's your industry, if that's your lifeline, if that's your support, right? Like you live for, you're a meat producer, or you make money by producing, like making people take medicine or managing their illness. I really commend the people who promote prevention and health and wellness even in their medical field, because they have to be in a constant struggle within themselves, like, okay, I'm getting these money from the pharmaceutical companies, you know, technically in the medical industry, it's like we're supposed to be prescribing this. And I know that if I tell them to change their diet, they could heal this, like it's
I
just
mean, sometimes they actually leave because they found out the truth and they're like, oh no, I don't want to go for this anymore. So that's also a thing where people find out the truth and they're like, you know what?
lots
I'm
of
not.
them, right?
Yeah, they're like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I think that goes back into like the deeper. I don't want to go too much into the spiritual because I want to go about into the rock. But the thing that it talks about, and it's an interesting thing to think about, it's kind of blown me away and out the water, is in the Bhagavad Gita, which is one of the spiritual texts. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it talks about, it's almost like Hinduism, where they talk about reincarnation. And the
Mm-hmm.
whole process is that, you reap what you sow, which is also a Christian principle, but goes around comes around.
Mm-hmm.
And the principle, what goes around comes around, is if you're a quote unquote animal killer now, or you eat animals, that when you die, you will reincarnate as the animal that you ate,
Oh wow.
then be eaten by people like you. Like, the process of the karma is that if you live your whole life like that, and like it's not in balance and it's against, nature or whatever, because it wasn't intended to be that way, then you'll reincarnate and be eaten by the animals that you.
Wow. What
Isn't
crazy
that
thoughts.
crazy to think
You know,
about? Like,
have you
actually,
watched, I don't know if you listen to Eli Martyr,
I don't.
or you've seen him. He was on here like a couple of weeks ago, or maybe like a month ago now. You have to check that out because you would love it. He like studies natural law and like how everything is cause and effect. And
Okay.
he says that like no matter what in nature happens, like no matter what you want to happen or what you choose, like if you do this is going to happen, like basically if you put your hand in fire, you're going to burn yourself, whether you're, you know
Okay.
it's like, so he says that our body is designed the same way as cause and effect. What we put in our body affects us basically. And like so many people are disconnected from that like they are just walking around like these things, like I've said before, they're just happening to us. Like this could happen to you. You could have this health condition. Well, of course, but it's probably, even if you went vegan, it's probably from something you did before you were vegan that, you've already damaged yourself in some way, because that's what people don't realize is there is a portion of when you go vegan, your body's not going to like it. You're not going to feel great sometimes automatically. I did for some reason.
I
I
have.
don't know how I didn't go through a ton of detox. I went through a little bit, but like, I don't know. I felt really good after I went vegan. And then we'll have to get into too the whole thing about eating the animal that was scared when he was dead,
Oh,
dying, and then we're getting those emotions in us. Like there's a lot of talk about that too, like how we're taking on that animal's
energy.
energy. Yep.
Yeah, the chemicals and stuff that gets released. So, with all that being said, we can go way, way into that. I want to talk about the raw stuff because I
Okay.
I never thought I'd be vegan, right? That was like one thing. And then it was like I went from being vegan to being like plant based, because now that I've become a mom, that's another thing. I have a 1 year old, and whatever I eat, she wants to eat. So whenever I'm cooking stuff, generally my daughter's father, he likes spicy food. And so when I'm cooking, I will make food more spicy. But now that my daughter is like actually, she's showing that she wants to eat food. That's another thing too, is like self-led weaning. So it's
Mhm.
interesting to me. A lot of people are like, when are you going to stop breastfeeding? When are you going to stop breastfeeding? When are you going to stop breastfeeding? And it's like,
When she
again,
knows.
back to that point about the cows. It's like, you guys are 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, still drinking cow's milk. Like, stop talking to me about when am I going to stop breastfeeding my child? Like, that's none of your business.
Right.
None of my business what you do with your life, so it's none of your business what I'm doing with mine. But anyways,
Well, that was the funny thing. I was thinking nobody says a word when you're feeding the baby, cow's milk or anything like that, but they will say something when, oh, I'm feeding her plant based. You better be careful. Like, I'm actually feeding my baby the healthiest,
you
right?
know, and people ask me, well, where is your daughter getting her protein? And I'm like, well, what does anybody get their protein from? It's from the food that they eat. It's from the food that she's eating. It's from the
Everything
breast
has
milk that she's
protein.
getting from everything that I eat that has protein in it. I was like, you guys are probably eating too much protein because that's actually a thing. But anyways,
We could
I
go on that tangent too, right?
yeah, I could go down that path too, but so she's been showing a real interest in food. So she's been leading her weaning journey on her own. When she wants milk, I give it. When she wants to eat what I eat, she eats it. And when she's tired of either, she's like, I'm done. She will literally push my hand away when I'm trying to feed her, or if I'm
That's
trying to give her a
awesome.
bottle. She's like, I had enough. But anyway, so I stopped how I cook things as far as spice level, but also like the guilty pleasures that I've had as far as like junk food stuff, whether it's like chips or Publix, which is here in Florida. They have vegan chocolate chip cookies, which are like my favorite. I stopped buying them because I'm like, I don't want my daughter, or fries. I love French fries. And so I stopped eating so much of it because I'm like, I don't want my daughter to be, on one hand, I didn't start her on the down trend as far as, eating animals or eating any animal byproducts. But I did start her on like my little guilty pleasures, chips
Right,
and
right.
fries and like that. And so I've been trying to phase out of that. And for a while, I was doing the no sugar thing. And then, funny enough, somehow the sugar crept back in. I'm trying to get rid of the sugar, but it's one of those things. Sugar is also a drug. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say I'm addicted to it, but there are so many recipes that call for sugar. It's like unreal. And even when you're using a different sweetener, it doesn't give you that same consistency. I'm not saying that it can't. I'm just saying it's different. So that's been an uphill trend on its own. But also, with cooked food, it's like, it's nothing like raw food. I mean, if you eat nothing but cooked food, one of my favorite breakfasts that I've had, and I have it on my Instagram page from way, way back, I made a platter of fruit this one morning. And it was just the most divine thing that
Yeah,
I've
I know
ever
what you mean.
had. Like, I felt so good after I finished
That's the
eating it.
thing.
I
Like,
mean, it was,
I tell
I
people
mean,
eat
the
fruit for
combined.
lunch if you can, or breakfast, because like it really like puts this like almost like natural high on you. Like it's like your body is like, yes, this is what I've been wanting.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. And I don't remember if I was pregnant still, because when you're pregnant, you're like, everything tastes so good. It's just like, but I think I had already given birth, but it was a fruit platter and it had so much different fruit on it. It was just bursting with flavor. And I was so full of energy. And also, I kind of do an intermittent fasting. I
Hmm.
think if we're really in symbiosis with nature, like, you don't eat at a certain time. You should eat super, super late at night. And you shouldn't eat super early in the day. Like, it's not normal for us to, as soon as we wake up, put food in our mouth. We do that because of the demands of life and career and family and stuff like that. But in our normal essence, we're supposed to eat like technically when the sun eats. So midday, like 12 o'clock, when the
Yeah,
sun is at its point, when it's the hottest part of the day, that's when you're supposed to be eating. And
and
then
I
when the
think
sun
our
sets,
body
so like right about
knows
the time.
that. Like we force ourselves a lot of times. Like earlier in life, I used to realize that. Like if you really look at us, we're natural. Like we know what we need to do. Like some people are like, I'm not hungry, but you got to eat breakfast. Like no, you really don't, because if you look at how we were designed, we were literally not designed for houses and stuff like that. Like all these things we created,
Supposed to be out
we're
12
supposed to be
o'clock.
getting sunlight. We're going to forage, like we're going to go look for food. We might take, we might be trying to walk a mile, to go get the food, or, just over time people have gotten into these, they've forgotten about the natural laws, like why we're actually like, I don't know how to describe it, but like you said, it's like what we're naturally attracted to. We've forgotten to listen to our body. Sometimes I wake up and I'm not hungry at all. Right now I haven't really eaten yet, and it's almost 5:20. That's a little bit later than I have been, maybe, but sometimes that's the way it is because I feel like I've from being raw have gotten back into the natural rhythm of my body where I'm not like craving something I had the night before that's stuck in there.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is the addictive quality of food too. Sometimes you can eat something and just be like, "Oh, I want it." Like I made some vegan cinnamon rolls. Maybe I'll post the recipe, but they're so good. I'm not gonna lie. I've had like 3 of them.
That
They
reminds me
were
of
so
the cookies. I was like addicted to the like a bunch of different kinds of cookies over the time when I was eating a lot of cooked food. And like Ray was on here. He's Ray Ortega from Sunflower Baking Company. He came on. He sells vegan cookies, and he's got this really cool company, and they're good. And he's like, I'm gonna send everybody that I come on their show. I send them free cookies. I think do not send them here. I am raw, and I am not going back to that. So I'm having a contest and giving away the cookies so that he can send them directly to whoever. I had people commenting on the post, so I'm like, I'm gonna have somebody else take them because it's addictive. If they come here, I might eat them.
right. And I just got popcorn dropped off. This is
Nice.
But no, totally. It can be really addicting. And I really feel like my biggest thing, because that's another thing people kind of get misconstrued, is they think that all vegans are skinny. No, I've never been really skinny my whole life. I wouldn't say I'm fat, but I'm definitely overweight. According to my BMI, I'm overweight. And so I do want to lose some weight. And huh?
I said, I think you look great. You look healthy, which is important. Like I think people don't look at things. They look at weight all of the time. Like I get told, like when I was going vegan and being, you were too skinny. Like, well, that's because you're not used to seeing me that way. Maybe I'm at my natural weight now. You know what I mean? Welcome, Muriel. Thank you for joining. You and Tessa are awesome. Muriel is on a fruit. She just did like, how many days did you do? Maybe 30? No, I don't know. She might be over that, a fruit challenge, like fruit only right now.
Yeah, I want to do a fruit fast and stuff. And I started a new job last week, so I'm gonna definitely have more income coming in, and I'm thinking about doing a fruit fast of some sort. It may not be all raw, but it definitely will be fruits.
Yeah, like do it slowly,
Are you?
like have some fruit. And I do like celery juice, and I do a salad at night, because I get some like lettuce, cucumber. Well, it's still fruit. Like a lot of things are fruit and avocado. But like I've just been on this, like that seems to work for me to do like celery and shots. I do celery shots. I know that's what I call them, but like these little shot glasses of celery. Sometimes me and Donna like cheers since I stopped drinking. So it's like our celebration. And then I do like fruit all day, and then I do the salad at night. And like literally, it's you could probably get a lot more creative with it and do like raw recipes too eventually over time. But it's such a good
I
feeling to like cleanse out.
I want to. I really want to. January 5th. Is that when you finished doing it, Muriel, or when you started your fruit fast?
I think.
But yeah, so I want to get a dehydrator. I've seen all different types of recipes. Like I've seen red bell pepper wraps and spinach wraps and collard green wraps. My whole idea was like to get a dehydrator, try different wraps, maybe even multiple different types of fruits and vegetables in the wrap, and then stuff the inside with raw stuff. So I'm thinking like avocados, maybe with some lettuce or spinach and some cayenne pepper.
I'm gonna send you this. this link too when we get done here, because I think you'll really enjoy it because of how intellectual you are and how much you love to read. Like this guy that I have on my show, Don Bennett, he has like a whole thing called the healthiest raw vegan diet, and it's really interesting. You can take out of it what you want and leave the rest. You know how it is, but there's like so many like in-depth information on there. I love just about like vitamins and what raw foods do for us and how the fruit affects us. It's really cool. Muriel said, but I've had two cooked food in that time, and I don't feel good. Oh yeah, like I ate cooked food after a while and got sick, cold. Let me see. Oops, I shared the wrong message. There, that'll make it easier for us both to see. Look, Vivica's like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go meet Muriel and see what's still that is awesome, Muriel. I can't believe that. That is really an accomplishment. And congratulations, Dawn, if you're listening. She has been raw, like she's coming up on 30 days, like, you know, salads, fruits, lots of fruit. I love it. She is doing so well and feeling so good and feeling like extra creative. And that's one of the things I think that happened to me was I find it's the this, you know, and me and Michelle have talked about that, Muriel's daughter that comes on here too, like the spiritual part of the raw vegan journey. Like we're really connected with nature and our natural diet. And I really truly think it makes such a difference too. Like I think cooked food vegan is awesome. I've done that. I think raw though just brings me to a whole different level and a different vibration, and it makes it easy not to kind of make those bad choices, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because it's like such a fine line to walk. It's so like easy to make a decision to have cookies. And I mean, you can have raw, there are raw versions of raw cookies, but it's not as readily available. You know what I mean? Like when you're just eating fruit and fresh vegetables and stuff, you don't have those temptations. It just like gets out of your system, those cravings. And that's why I think people do like the little, even if it's not, even if you're not staying completely raw, they do like a lot of raw resets and things like that.
I'm back, so my phone overheated.
Oh no.
But yeah, but I'm back. What did I miss?
Um, we have Rogue for an extra day. Roads are always snowing. Okay. Well, be careful out there. Or is that why he's staying? Rogue is their little grandson and great grandson. He was on here. He made an appearance last week. He was so cute. Just in case he's watching this time, I was juggling for him. I'm going to give him a little juggle. There you go. There you go, Rogue. Look, this is for kids too. Oops.
Talented.
Good thing they're covered with skin so I can still eat it.
An orange sounds really good right now. I have like a craving for fruit whenever I don't eat it. You know how many people don't even eat fruit? It's just crazy to me, like at all.
It's gotten a bad name and it's our natural diet. I think we lost you again. Is your phone overheating? Oh no, Vivica, this was such an inspiring conversation. Don't leave us. Don't leave. She's okay, there she goes.
Can you see me?
Yes, now I can. We have worn out your phone, haven't we?
Yes, I need to get better tech equipment set up, but I will, because you know what I want to do? I really want to do cooking. We need to do a cooking segment.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do a cooking segment, cooking class. Did you try the walnut meat?
I still have not tried it. That's
Why
crazy.
not? It's so easy.
I don't know. We just never did. I don't know what happened, like close to after.
And you could even do it raw, even.
That's what I'm thinking. Now that Dawn is like getting into this dehydrator stuff, we could make the raw wraps and the walnut meat, right? Because you don't have to cook the walnuts.
I mean, you want to grind it really a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think I don't know if the dehydration will make it softer, because the reason why you cook down the walnut meat is to make it more tender.
Do you want to do that one time? Do you have a setup where you could do it, or maybe we could share a video while you're on of you making it or something like that?
That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking we should do like some cooking classes. We could do like cooking Sunday, or even I cook a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I cook a lot. Like I cook almost every single day, and so or evening after work. But I know during the week people are really really busy. I definitely wouldn't be able to stay on as long as I am during the week.
No, me
But
either.
I'm saying if we did, we could do like a if we prepped in advance, we could
What
do
do
a
you
cooking
do on
class.
do you work on Mondays?
Yes, my schedule is Monday through Friday. I'm in training for my job right now, so it's 9 to 5:30. And then after that, it will be in the evening. So then I'll pretty much have open availability during
That's
the
what I
day.
work, 9 to 5:30. But on Mondays I'm off, Sundays and Mondays, so that's why I was thinking if you had off time on Monday. But we could do it like maybe I already do like meat. What a better meatless Monday than having you cook, right? One of these
Oh,
times.
we could do it next Monday if you want. I mean, but it would have to be. You said you're off on Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
It would have to be after 5:30 when I get off.
Yeah, I get off
But
at 5:30. So sometimes I have to
we could
stay until
totally
like
do it.
after it's 6. Yeah, I'm gonna message you about it. I have
But we could totally.
let's definitely do it. Either that or next Sunday, because I forget the 19th is something I have. I think that's next Monday. So if I have a guest on next Monday, we could do it on that Sunday maybe if you're free, or we could do it like the next Monday or something, or even Wednesday. Like I don't have like I'm off every day at 5:30, so whatever day works for you.
Yeah. So I mean, Sunday or Monday is fine. Whatever ability you have is fine as well. I love cooking, and I don't go on live as much as I should. I think that on YouTube where you can have both channels
Oh, something's
live
happening.
because that would be cool. But
You're like in fast
huh?
forward, Vivica. You're
I'm
frozen,
gonna
but your
leave and
voice
come
is
back.
going
Okay,
like 100. There you go.
I'm gonna leave and come back if you can't hear me.
Okay, now I can hear you, but your like picture's frozen. But earlier you were frozen and your voice was going real fast, like what you were saying. I was like, look how excited she is about cooking. It was like like one of those fast forward records. I was like,
Oh,
whoa,
okay.
okay, we need to get her on to cook for us. Look how happy she is about it.
Oh my gosh. Wait, so am I back now, or can you see me? Can you hear me, or is it still one or the other?
I can hear you perfectly, and then you like, but your picture is like still. It's a good picture. It landed you good. Like usually when I have my live streams, you ever end one and your face is like or something like that, and I'm like, I don't want that to be my thumbnail.
Yeah,
Now
totally.
you're
Okay, I'm
just
gonna
I
leave and
can
come back in. Okay.
okay. I'm gonna take another bite of my orange here. These are clementines. Muriel, don't you love these? Do you get these, right? I always see you sharing all your fruit. Thanks for all the inspiration. Muriel is on the Veganowledge group. If you guys haven't, check in the description. Click on there's a link to my Facebook. There's a link to a meal plan on there for if you want to try like just a try raw for a week or just one day out of the week eat like this. This is the exact thing that I eat pretty much, and there's options. Obviously I don't eat exactly the same thing, but pretty much and it's like pretty basically very close to what I initially lost weight with. I did have a few more things that I included in my initial salad, which I can share that with you too. But over the time I've learned a couple of things, and I've kind of condensed it from being like 2 miles high, realizing these are all the nutrients after I learned about all the like fruit, how it can help sustain us and it helps keep weight on me. Because when I was just trying to do a lot of vegetation, I like lost weight and couldn't. It's so good. If you're looking to lose weight, try the raw thing, right? Muriel knows I love her. Like she looks so healthy, and like it's just like I've seen that picture that you shared of you like years ago, and I'm just so amazed by your transformation, plants formation. She does these challenges. She has a page called Muriel in the Raw, and then her daughter Michelle has Michelle Naked, Not Really, I think it says on it. That's what's funny. Um, and then who else I was gonna say, I don't think Marakita could come because she had some things to do with her church today, but check her out too, Vegan Empowerment. There is so many people. If you check out the live tab, there's so many great people. Angela Fischetti comes on here. She is such a beautiful soul and helps us with the workout tips and things. And then we have like there's just so many people that come on here. I know Mona comes on here a lot. Who joins in the comments. Angela is a new vegan who's been joining. Hopefully she's catching some of these replays and is giving it a try. Um, I've been really into watching a lot of Fruitarian Fahad. He is awesome. And, you know, Eli, I always like to just promote everyone. And on the Veganowledge group, you can share your vegan businesses. Jeff Palmer's been on here. He has a great company. And you can share your YouTube, share your pages, share what you're eating. I love how we all interact. Oh, that's what it is. Thank you. I'll put that up on the screen. Um, yeah, it's like everybody can talk, and that's why I have these because I love everyone coming on here. I'm having a vegan course, beginner vegan course starting soon that is going to actually talk about everything from what does vegan mean. We're going to start with that. We're going to look at the health benefits of being vegan, the transitional phase, like what type of things you can do, the different vegan diets. Like we're going to talk about whole food, plant based, the processed foods that are out there. I'm going to talk about also being like whole food, plant based, no oil, salt, sugar. We're going to have some guest speakers coming in. We'll talk about just high raw vegan, and we'll talk about my favorite, of course, how the different versions of raw vegan, fruit based raw vegan, and just to kind of give people a big overview of like if you have someone you know that's vegan and you don't understand them or why they think and act the way they do, come to this course because it'll be really fun and you'll be able to kind of learn a little bit about and if you have a partner or spouse that's vegan or wife, you know, it's a good thing, or husband, you know, if you have friends that are vegan, even, you know, this is welcome to everyone. New vegans, if you're just, you know, looking to enhance your diet, I'm going to do one after that or maybe even simultaneously called reconnecting with the natural diet, also. And if you're watching this right now and you're new to the channel, if you could just do me a huge, huge favor and click on the subscribe button. I'm really trying this month to reach 400. And hopefully when I have like 10,000 subscribers one day, I'm going to look back at this and say, oh my goodness, I didn't even have 400. Let's make it happen. And guys, please join in. The link is always in the description and on the or in the comments to join into these. These are for us to kind of share whatever we want to talk about. They're just kind of like open forums. And I love that Vivica, I haven't seen her in a long time. She came on a while ago. And I'm so excited when new vegans come on here and talk with us. Well, not she's not new vegan. I'm so proud of her for everything, and definitely I'll share the video, the interview with her that we did in the comments. But also check out her ebook, and I'm working on. And she has a couple of YouTube, Instagram. I'll share all of that. She has a lot of knowledge, and as you can see, like for me, it was one YouTube video that changed me from wanting to be who I was to this whole new person, to be able to get healthier, to change, you know, not only physically by losing weight, but mentally, spiritually, and really just improve my health. Like you just feel a lot better. Your skin feels better. You feel like just things that little things that annoyed you that you might not have even known are happening. You'll just really reconnect with like nature and animals and open up your compassion. And there's so many different ways to do this and to really have all the benefits. And it's not as hard. It's not as complicated. You know, we did a stream called procrastination causes complication or complication causes procrastination, where, you know, we'll kind of delve into that, and we'll encourage you and help you. And I'm going to stay connected with you even after this course. Like, I'm always available. Like, and this is a free course. There's no charge for it. I mean, like, if you find that I've, changed your life and you want to give me a huge tip of $1 million, I'll take it, but there's no cost for it. But the cool thing is I just like to present this information because my life changed based on a YouTube video, and people like me that were on YouTube sharing their experience, sharing how they did it, what they eat, and not that everybody has to eat exactly the same. So like what I eat in a day might not be what you end up eating. However, we're all on this same common ground to improve our health, to improve our compassion in the world, because I do feel it kind of spills over. If we're compassionate to animals, all animals, we're compassionate to other humans. And when we feel better inside about ourselves, we also project that out. It improves us in our work. It improves, and it gives you something to like believe in. Like for me, it's given me an entire passion. And you can also tell other people and inspire other people without judging them. Everybody is in this, whether even if you're still um trying to meet your goals, like whatever you were doing yesterday, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to do it today, and you can always do it. You can be a different person and improve your health. You don't have to be on medications. I've interviewed tons of people. Check out the live tab and even my videos. I have some of my interviews on there because they needed to do it recorded. Um, but it's just a wealth of knowledge on here, and I love all the different people hearing their health stories. Miss Mary Jones that came on here, she was 74 and healed her rheumatoid arthritis. Like, I always talk about her because that's what I always say, it's never like too late to change your life. And now she's doing all these things. She's got her own coaching that she does at the seniors, and a Zoom call. And it's just amazing to watch how people, when they transform their health in their diet, it's like they transform mentally, and they start to be able to do more and to be able to help others. And I think that's what we're really put here for. If you want to feel good about yourself, help someone else. And that's like my entire passion, why I'm on here, why I do these things, why I have the vegan group, why I'm on social media talking about this. It's just that I feel like the knowledge is not there, is not put out in mainstream enough. And I want to bring excellent people on here like Vivica to tell her experience, because we all might relate to someone differently. You know what I mean? Like, I think whether, like, if I have people on here that are 75 years old, and I also have younger people on here, like, there's just been a wide range of people that I talk to, and hopefully somebody's story will resonate. I just
Sorry, I'm
rambled
back.
on.
Can
You
you
left
hear me
right when I
now?
was trying to eat my orange, and I didn't just want to sit here and eat my orange. It was like I
Oh,
it was like I shouldn't have opened it. Now I smell it and I'm like, but I want to keep talking. I don't want it to be dead air while I'm eating.
oh yeah.
I'm
Okay,
just
I
playing.
can take over if you want to eat your orange. Can you hear me and see me now? Okay.
I'm gonna give you my orange. How about that?
I wish I really want an orange now that you mention it. I actually really do.
That's been like my thing. I've been eating like four. I think when I started this, I didn't eat enough because I didn't realize, like, I'm not eating fruit as a dessert like before. Like when you're eating regular cooked food and you want some fruit, you might eat an orange. Like now I'll eat like four or more of these clementines in one sitting because it's like all I'm having for that whole meal. And
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh.
so different.
I remember when I was working in Texas, I haven't found it here in Publix. I mean, here in Florida at Publix, but blood oranges right around this
Oh,
time of year. Oh God, they're so good. Have you ever had one?
by mistake, 2 weeks ago, it freaked me out because they brought them. I ordered these regular ones, but they must not have had them. So the driver, like the shopper on Instacart, I think it was, brought me like raspberry oranges. And I was like, what is a raspberry orange?
I've never heard of that. Mm-mm.
It just
Blood
basically was like a
oranges.
blood orange inside. It was pinkish, right? Is that what they look like?
Yeah. But it
It
was
was good.
delicious. The ones that they have in Texas, those are like my favorite. So I remember at one point in time I cut up like 3 or 4 of those and I took them with me to work and I would eat them at my desk. And they were just
Wow.
like the most amazing thing. And my coworker, he was a admitted, not really, I don't want to say an alcoholic, but he loved to drink. That was his thing. He would go home and pop open a beer, go home and drink or whatever. And he was like, are those infused oranges? Like he thought I had infused the oranges with alcohol. And I was like, no, it's a blood orange. But they're delicious. I love blood oranges. But no, back to the raw thing. I really want to do the raw thing. I've been incorporating more raw foods. And, you know, it's just simply delicious. Like an avocado, for example, is technically a fruit, you know. And then if you can get like a red bell pepper wrap or collard green wrap and dehydrate it or even just have it raw, I just feel like that would just be one of the most.
I mean, hearing the way that you already have the why, I think that's important. I didn't even have that in the beginning, except I wanted to get healthier. But you already are like bought in that we are supposed to eat our food in its natural state.
Yeah, no, I totally believe that. And I think I'm not 100% raw, but another thing that inspired me, this is for other people who like may not, hearing somebody else say we're supposed to not supposed to eat animals, or hear people say like it's a morality thing or a health thing. It may not be resonant for you because maybe you don't have the health issues, or maybe,
Mhm.
I mean, I think we should all be concerned about every being on earth, but maybe you're not tied to that. You need to find other people who are what you it doesn't more. I don't see his page often. I mean, he's been quite shamed a lot in the media. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but his at is Shaka Bars, HAKA Bars. Am I still
What's
here? It
his
says
name?
that the connection.
You disconnected a
Shaka
second.
Bars.
Oh, okay.
His name is Shaka Bars, but during COVID, the thing that inspired me about him was he was living in, I think it was Thailand, and he was eating raw. Like he would eat midday and he was only eating fruit and was not eating meat. And to me at that time, it was like really mind blowing. It's like, how could you live your life not eat any meat, any dairy, any cheese? You're just eating fruits and vegetables. You're working out in the sun. Like you're living this life. And I thought, oh, this is completely not possible. Like I would never, ever, ever be able to do that thing. And here I am years later, like not only vegan, I'm plant based, and now I'm looking into raw.
You're like, yeah,
And it's
what's
just
this raw
crazy.
thing?
So
It's like you're evolving in your journey to different levels. I think we lost you.
you're breaking up, Jen.
I couldn't even hear you.
Pardon?
We've lost we lost your voice all the way.
Jen, I think you're breaking up. I'm breaking up. Maybe we should wrap
We
it
should
up because I'm having
wrap it up,
technical
right?
difficulties.
I'm gonna have to send you this video too that I did with Dawn. She did I think it was 9 days, something like that, of grapes only. I'll have to share that with you. That's when you were talking about the raw thing. I was like, talk about extreme. Um, but thank you, Vivica. I think yeah, it's probably getting late. We probably should wrap it up. But this has been such an inspiring conversation. Like I could continue talking to you all like evening, but I know it's getting near 6 o'clock. I think we came on at 4.
Yeah, my connection is really poor. Like it's breaking up on my end. But I wanted to come back in. I was hoping that when I came back in it would be a little bit better. But this has been amazing. I don't know if you can hear me,
Yes,
but
I can hear
this has
you.
been an amazing
You sound
talk.
good.
And I look forward to getting together next week, hopefully, and being able to do the cooking.
Yes, that would be
Can you hear me?
awesome. I can't wait to. Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. So yeah, let's get together in DMs and coordinate that cooking. And I hope you have a wonderful. I don't know if you're watching the Super Bowl. I know you said you were preparing some snacks for the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, Dawn's
if you're
got
watching
her
the Super Bowl, hope you have a good time watching it.
Thank you. You too. And we will hopefully see you next week. And I want to thank everyone for joining. Don't forget to check out Vivica's pages and her Instagram. Well, send me your
Oh,
links and I'll put them in the
Jen,
comments.
Jen,
Yeah.
Jen. I have an idea. Why don't we go back? Why don't we? I mean, I know we probably should still wrap it up, but I want to see if maybe we could try on Instagram.
Okay.
Because I did have
Like,
a couple other things I wanted to wrap up and say. So we could switch over to Instagram and see how that works if you want.
actually, we can hear you now if you want to go ahead and let us know your closing thoughts. Let me know in the comments, guys. Can you hear her?
It's breaking up.
Oh, there
Hey,
you are.
Tessa. Hi, Diana. Do you guys want to meet us on Instagram? Because I'm having technical difficulties on my end.
We can do that. Oh, I see you taking a drink. Are we going in your Instagram or my Instagram? We've lost her. Want to try to go out and come in? Here, let me see if that works. Let's see. That's so strange. I think maybe your phone got hot. Let's see. Give me good vibes here. All right, we can see you. Now we just need to hear you. You there? If you post the link, I can join. Sorry for the tech diffs. Hey, Diana, how are you? Thank you for joining. Vivica, if you're there, well, I really appreciate everyone. I don't know if Vivica's going to come in and try to say her closing thoughts there. I really, really appreciate you all joining. Diana, how's things going with you? I know you're our usual mainstay here. You guys are awesome, awesome peeps. You'll have to check out the replay and meet Vivica next time. Hopefully she'll be on. Good, getting ready for Super Bowl. Yeah, I figured that's what everyone was doing. Of course, we forgot that it took 10 hours for chips, right? So Dawn ordered some other things from the store for us. We tried our dehydrator cucumber chips. Let me see if Vivica wrote here. She said she's having bad difficulties. So maybe let me type her real. Let's see if she's yeah, we're probably gonna settle in and look at the Super Bowl if we're not still tied up doing. Dawn's over there working. I know she wanted to pop in, but she's gonna come on, I think, Wednesday with me. We're going to do our vegan raw mance special. Get it? RAW mance. So the thing is, I'm so proud of her. She hasn't had any like processed food, and it's been almost a month now. She's been raw, doing a lot of fruits and things, so she's feeling really good. And I want to talk with her on Wednesday. Hopefully we can come on. And then tomorrow I'm doing an actual interview on let me look up the actually, I'll share the link. I think it is Healthy Divine Living, something like that. Let me check here. Let me write down. I'm doing an interview on her channel, and she has like a new channel. I appreciate it if you, go on there and check her out. I'm just going to find her real name is Amber. I forget the name of her channel. My apologies here. Amber sent a message, so I don't know. Hopefully, the message isn't canceling it, but either way, she has a great channel. Check her out, and her channel is Divine Health Revolution. How could I not remember that? Divine Health Revolution. Um, Vivica's page is Plant Powered Mama. We got, I think that's what hers is. Diana Varner, plant based. Boomer Beyond Wellness. Hello. I was just talking about you. Lifting weights and logged in between sets. And here you are. Yes, I'm here. Vivica was here with me. We were having a great conversation, but she's having technical difficulties. So we're just about to wrap up. Let's see. Please let the audience know. Oh, okay. I'm gonna copy this in there. I'm gonna post it in the comments of the video. Plant Earth Mama is Vivica's page. I'm messing everybody's page up. I know you guys that are in the chat though. I got it right. I messed up Michelle's earlier. So she's she's going to, let's get back together next week, she said. So I just wanted to make sure she wasn't waiting for me at Instagram. But her thing is Plant Earth Mama. Go check her out. And again, I really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you, Angela. You're always so encouraging. I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited to see Muriel. Look, she and Boomer and Beyond Wellness. Check out her channel. Please subscribe. Check out Muriel in the Raw on Facebook. Michelle Naked, not Naked. I always get it wrong. I'm scrolling up. Thank you, Rogue, if you're watching, for being here. And Diana's, oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank? What is your little one's name? Our little plant-based friend. 29 pounds since July, Diana. Oh my goodness. I wanted to ask how you guys were doing. That is insane. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. Probably feeling so healthy. And I saw your video on YouTube about your blood pressure going way down. Or your you got like a message. Tell us about what that was. Willow, yes. I can't believe that. I know it like I know my own name. Michelle Naked and Raw, not literally. That's the name of Michelle's channel. And let's see who else we had here. Tessa, yes. Well, thank you, Tessa, for joining. She's always such a great, encouraging person on here, too. I love all you guys that come up here and talk with me and in the comments. You're all amazing. Please visit everyone. I'll connect all the links here to everyone that joined. And thank you, Vivica. I really, really appreciate you coming on and talking with me. I mean, that was like an inspiring conversation. We talked about so much, and I think we'll get more into the food and health. And she's going to come on and cook for us too. Congratulations, Dawn, on being healthy. And I love you all. Your resting heart rate, that's what it was. Thank you. I love you all for being here. I really, really, I don't know. I'm just like in such a state of gratitude. I really am thankful for all of you. JJ or Boomer Beyond Wellness said, let's see. I began my studies with the Center for Nutrition Studies for my plant-based nutrition certificate. All right, that is excellent. I already know I'm getting advice from an expert, but I'll just, the certificate will just add to it as a bonus, right? Thank you so much for all the knowledge you share. Like on the Veganowledge page, Angela is amazing. Like anytime someone has a question, I love having her as part of the group. She comes under with such information. Sometimes she'll post a link or even a video. Muriel is very encouraging on the page. She will continuous, encouragement, telling everybody congratulations. I love when you guys comment on the post. It lets me know that all the time, like when you do things like this, when you do YouTube and you do like different things, and people are there, but like those comments and things, they really mean a lot, especially when you put a lot of work and effort into it and sharing things. I know that Angela does that, and Muriel and Michelle, thank you. And like Tessa, thank you for always coming on the lives. I know like sometimes it's like, you're wondering if you see that there's views happening, but having people here live is so so inspiring. I really appreciate it. And this is what the link always looks like in the comments. I'll always leave it for the live stream pinned to the top if any of you ever want to come on and join. Oops, I clicked the wrong link there. Anybody else have anything you want to say in closing? I really had a great time. We've been on here since 4, so I'm going to go ahead and I guess wrap it up here in a second. But again, hopefully you'll be joining us. I will be on here with I think next Monday, Linda Middlesworth is going to come on with me. She is a great wealth of knowledge. Check out some of my other recent interviews I've done and all the videos on the live page. I think was my last interview with Eli. I can't remember who was on after that, but I think that was the last one here recently, which was a really inspiring interview. And then I think all of us were talking last week on the open forum, but we've had, I know I have been doing these a little bit more than the interviews, but I really want to get everyone together. I love this community because I think it's so important, especially for new vegans, since we don't have a lot of people that are on this same page in our real life. We can actually all like come together and connect with like-minded people who all kind of have the same goals, but we all do things a little bit differently and have our own special like talents and things like that. Like, I can juggle. That's my only talent. I'm just kidding. But that seems to be the theme lately, right? I'm just always like, I always have oranges nearby. I think because I'm on this orange kick right now. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, guys, gotta go. I'm getting a phone call. I've invited a few people from Willow School to join Veganowledge. Oh my goodness, thank you, Diana. I appreciate that. I love it. I love that you guys invite other people and it took people out of having to see my really bad banana joke. Um, because it's so important to spread this. Like, you never know, like, people who you wouldn't even think to that would even care about this information. And they might not even at first, but eventually they do. And here is our woman of the hour, Dawn.
The Super Bowl just came on.
Oh, did it at 6?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was 6:30. Okay. I just wanted to I'm gonna come hang out. I just
Oh,
wanted.
you know what? I think it is a pre-show. I think it's 6:30. There's a pre-show that came on. Hi, everybody.
We haven't really even been following football. However, we decided to jump back into like mainstream today and do a like fun
This bowl.
date night. Right. I was telling them about Muriel said congratulations, Dawn.
Thank you, honey.
She has been eating so healthy here. I know we were on here a couple of weeks ago talking about our struggles. Like, you did do that. I was talking about that week of grapes, and you've done such amazing things diet wise. But today, you know, you are really on a whole different journey. And I know you've just been like on this high. I know we have to go here soon. I've been on here too long for these people. I've kept them, but you want to talk a little bit about how you're feeling?
I feel fabulous. This is my 4th Sunday in a row. And Wednesday will make a complete month. I started going raw. I went raw January 14th. So while this is the 4th Sunday, technically it's 4 weeks. It doesn't quite make a full month until it's the day to me. So I'm gonna celebrate the month like officially on Wednesday. It'll be the 14th of February. But yeah, I feel great. I have energy. I'm getting sleep. Everything is kicking on all cylinders. I'm drinking plenty of water. I am, getting exercise in now. I've incorporated that back in. And yeah, I'm drinking my moringa every morning. Everything is just clicking on all cylinders. You know what I mean? So it feels really good. Thank you for always being such an inspiration and always sticking to the plan. And that, sometimes when you're kind of wishy-washy on a particular subject and there's somebody in your life who's grounded to what you want to be stuck to, it kind of helps. But yeah, okay, it takes me back to, remember the movie Twister?
Mm-hmm.
Remember how it ended, where they grounded themselves to that pipe, and
Mm-hmm.
even though the tornado was twisting around them, it couldn't pull them out. Well, you're my pipe. and I grounded myself to you and rooted myself in your success. And
Oh,
gee,
that's beautiful.
that sounded like I wrote that. That it came. I mean, that's how I
I
feel.
was going to talk about your creativity. I was just talking about that to her this
Oh
morning.
man,
Like,
it's just boom. But I just kicked out another thing and gave it to them. Quick little short, but it just it's whatever you're good at or whatever you have a passion for. When you're raw, especially for any length of time, it brings it out even more. And yeah, you just remind me of that solid foundation that I was in the tornado and I'm like, hey Jen, I'm coming, and you're on the pole. It's trying to get you off from time to time, you know what I mean? And there were times where you were like, hey, but you held to it. And I'm like, I'm gonna be, and then finally it was like you reached in and I reached you at the same time and you pulled me into that pole with you, and now we're like in this raw thing together. So finally, yeah, it feels good. I see what you mean now.
yeah, like doing, even if you do like high raw, mostly raw, I just think raw foods
Yeah.
just add a different vibration to you, sometimes. And like if you can try it, if you can do it, she would never know what I meant by like all of a sudden I posted about this the other day. You walked in the other day and you're like, I feel really good. You just had this like
That
look on your face,
was
like,
this morning, I think.
was it or
Yeah,
yesterday? I thought it was yesterday, but it might have been today. My days run together.
might have been both days.
Maybe it was both days. Maybe you were feeling good both days. But it's like just, I mean, not that things don't come up in life or you might not have like emotions or different feelings. Sometimes they become, we
Did
even
you
talked
tell them
about
how
this.
I struggled about the chips?
No, I didn't even I didn't want to put your stuff out there. I just
Well,
talked about how well you've been doing. But tell us about that.
Well, today is Super Bowl day, and this is typically a day where people snack and they got their chips and their pretzels
Hi,
and their
Willow.
salsa. Hey, their chips and their salsa and their guac and all of that type of stuff. Well, I was telling Jen, let's make some cucumber chips. We got a dehydrator for Christmas. Let's go ahead and cut up some cucumber and put some dill on there and maybe a little barbecue seasoning and see if we can't make chips, because that way I can make some guac and dip those in it instead of getting potato chips, right? And she's like, okay, good idea. Well, I didn't know that you're probably going to want to set aside a good 10 to 12 hours to do that. And while I started to do it last night, I didn't. And I started about 12 o'clock today. Well, obviously, there's no way they're done by now. So I went through a craving and a half because I wanted these chips so bad. And I thought I was going to have the cucumber to get me through it. But I'm like, it's the Super Bowl. You got to have chips. Come on. I don't eat cheese like that, so it's not like a cheese dip or anything. I don't care about the queso, but I love salsa. I love guacamole, and I'm like, I would love to have. Oh man! All of a sudden, I start sweating. The addiction starts kicking in, and I want nothing but chips. And I said, okay, you know what'll help this? Sunflower seeds. How about I order some David barbecue sunflower seeds? That'll kick it. And all of a sudden the craving for the chip went out the window, right? So we go on this quest to get these sunflower seeds, and I'll be damned if nobody had them. DoorDash didn't have them on the app. We called stores and said, well, if I order this, can I tell them to just come in and get that? Do you have it? And they're like, no. Acme didn't want to answer the phone. I'm like, it's just easier to get the chips. It was like,
And I was doing everything possible. I'm rushing to try to get ready. I'm like, we'll just go find them. Let's go find the sunflower seeds. Because I knew like you wouldn't disappoint me because I always decompartmentalize us. Like we're two different people. We can eat two different ways. I don't force you to eat any way.
yeah,
You don't
yeah.
force me to eat. But I just can
I
set
didn't
that example. And I'm like, I
I
knew
didn't
you
want
were
to
going to be
disappoint.
so
I would
disappointed.
have been pissed at myself.
I would
I
have
didn't
been
want to
disappointed
disappoint
for
you,
you.
and I didn't want to disappoint you or me. And I'm like, you know what? You have put a month in, and I'm standing there like biting my nails, and I'm like, you know what? I can get through this. And then all of a sudden, I started thinking about, well, you know what? I could eat like that veggie sub that we got from Wawa that time. I don't want the bread, but it was good and it's veggies and it's raw. So I can order that. Yeah, I'll compromise. I'll just order that. I won't get the chips, but I will get that. And then I said to myself, do you want bread? Do you want that thick, that bread? No, it's baked, but I realize I'm gonna end up doing something today that's off the raw path. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do my spinach wraps. I'll make my spinach wraps, but I will get the regular tortillas that I get. You know what I mean? Not the chips. I mean the wraps, the regular like flour ones. I like them. I like the softer ones. I don't like the corn ones. And I'll compromise. So I got those, and I'm put some romaine lettuce in them, some red onion, some spinach, some tomato, put a little balsamic vinaigrette in there, and God. And
I have a picture of it.
I put them in the coffee can.
I was like, you're not eating coffee beans. You'll be up all night.
No. I got over my craving for the barbecue, and I got the regular sunflower seeds. I did not bend. I did not get the chips. So I feel good. I feel good.
That is,
and I didn't get that thick bread either. I got the thin wrap. I know technically that's baked, but you know what I'm saying?
You know what? You are doing amazing. Like, you ate 20 times healthier than like 90% of America with eating a veggie wrap instead of, let's give it up for her. That is awesome.
Thank
I
you,
love
honey.
it. You know,
Thank you.
You are doing amazing. And that's like, the biggest thing about it is just, stay, like, it's hard sometimes because those emotional things, like if today wasn't the Super Bowl, I guarantee there wouldn't have been any issue. You probably would have never thought about chips.
I would have just ate some grapes and been done with it and been happy with that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, I'm happy. I stuck to the
Hi, Thomas. Thank you.
Hey, Thomas.
Good morning.
Didn't go off on a whole journey. Definitely didn't order Beyond or Impossible Whoppers or none of that for the game. I didn't even have that craving is so far gone now. Every now and then that crosses my mind, and it's nothing to just, because I'm so far removed I'm a month removed. Wow, I just thought about that. I'm a month removed from eating anything like that. So that's all it takes. 30 days. It takes a good 30 to 40 days to create a habit and get it ingrained into your system and into your soul. And I'm almost at that mark. So that's why it's easier. And that's why, because I'm telling you now, a few weeks ago, I would not have been out the hell with it. Get the damn chips.
Right.
You know me. I would have been like, I know. Just let's get the chips. But now it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, because it would have also been a gateway drug. It would have set me, well, since I did that, I might as well. It's just one day. No. Cold turkey. It's got to be cold turkey. You got to be strong on that, because if you don't, you will relapse. It is a given. It's like trying to smoke one cigarette after you've quit for a month. You're going to go back to smoking. So I can't give myself any of that junk food at all. You know what I mean? And the spinach wrap, it's a spinach wrap, for Christ's sake. That's not gonna derail me. You know what I mean?
Right.
That wrap is not gonna derail me from anything, because it's the wrap itself that I love. The whole spinach and the onions, and that's not replacing anything. I actually like that for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not eating that to replace a cold cut. To me, that is my cold cut. I love it that much. I remember the first time I made it, I told you, wow, we had some vegan lunch meat, some tofurkey lunch meat that I was putting in them and making like Italian cold cuts with them. And I remember doing it one day without that. We had run out of meat, and I just had the spinach in it and the onions and the veggies. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need the meat in this. And I've been in love with them ever since.
It's amazing. Like, you're taking something even in your craving, and you're getting something out of it that's healthy. And it's about making that choice for your health, like every single little decision. It's like, what are you getting ready to pick up? Like, some people try to, I think, set their goals out really far. Like, I want to lose 100 pounds and I want to be vegan for 2 years. Like, all you have to do is worry about that next meal. Like, it's what we do right now that decides the future. So I think that's what's important about what you did today, is you got through that. You got to a point where it was just, I want it, but that motivation to want to keep on your trend and feeling like you do, and continuing to feel healthier and being able to move around, and you started working out, like
And doing yoga. I'm back doing yoga. I did yoga
everything kind of
today.
started happening by what was going in. That's what
Yeah.
all the stuff you've been wanting to do. It's like we forget that we are what we eat. So when
Yep.
we put life and energy into us and whole foods, whether you're raw or whole food plant based, you actually are feeding yourself what energy you want to bring out. And like, if people don't believe that, all I can say is like, try it like we did. You
Yeah.
definitely, you don't, because I'm a different person than I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even like 2 years ago. I've gotten to
Yeah.
different levels of learning and my health. So you don't believe you can do something until you actually become that person.
Yeah, you have made extremely good strides because you've done something tremendous in your journey too, and that is you walked away from drinking wine, right? And you would have a glass of wine here and there at the end of the night. And it's like you said, you know what? I'm not going to continue with that as part of my journey. I'm doing all of this, but yet I'm still putting alcohol in my body. I don't think I need to do that anymore.
And
And
for those moments, the
I
same
remember
way
you quit
you crave
smoking.
the chips today, that's a drinking day. Super Bowl, you
Yeah.
started about 3 hours early with it. Like,
Beer, you know what I mean? And it helps that I'm not a big drinker, so I would have never suggested it. So that's not something I think about, but I could definitely, go with a beer on Super Bowl. We would do that from time to time, grab some beers or some wine coolers. And the fact that we didn't do it, you know what I mean? I didn't even think about it. But if it was on your mind and you yet again resisted that, even though it's been like almost over a year since you've had a drink,
this
hasn't it?
this month is actually a year.
I'll be damned. Let's give her the bell.
Oh wait, I forgot I have a bell. Hold on. I forgot my bell.
Still
I'm not
together.
used to you yet. I'm not
Let's
used to
give you
my
the
bell.
bell.
Hold
You
on.
ready?
Ready?
Go.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mia. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. He's sleeping behind me. Come here, love. You can lay down. You're okay. Mommy's
What
so
did he
good.
yell at you?
Yeah, he got up. I scared him. Oh, I forgot he was sleeping behind me. Come here, baby. You're
Sorry
okay.
about that, Neo. Love you,
Mommy,
buddy.
we were celebrating not eating chips and wine.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, boy.
And
Come on.
my weight has been coming down. I've been losing 2 pounds like every 4 or 5 days, maybe I weigh in. And I'm like 2 pounds less than I was the last time I weighed in. So even the weight's not just dropping off, it's coming off at a healthy pace. So, and my eating habits aren't going anywhere. This is how I want to live the rest of my life.
You're
So that
creating a
means,
lifestyle, but you have to get over
yeah,
those cravings from your old lifestyle. That's what it
yeah.
is.
It's
And
just like Eli Martyr said, that wheel is still spinning a little bit. It's
mhm.
almost stop. It's coasting to a stop. And had I eaten those chips while it was still in that coasting mode, zoop, zoop, zoop,
Yes.
zoop, 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 it would have started it right back up.
We've
And
been,
it would
oh
have,
well, I had a chip. I might as well have this tonight. And then
yeah,
tomorrow, well, you know what? I should probably start again next week, or I'll eat this way till Wednesday, or you know what I mean? I
yeah,
think it like it can get you started, and it
yeah,
was really a smart thing that you did. And I was rooting for you there and doing everything I could to not get you to get those chips without saying, don't do that, Dawn. Because then
yeah,
sometimes it can go the other way, especially if you're the kind of person who likes to make their own decisions. If I say it, that
yeah,
might push you the other way too, in some ways.
yeah, yeah.
And Boomer and Beyond Wellness, Angela said, accountability to thyself.
That's
Yes,
it, Angela.
absolutely. Muriel
That
said,
is it. What are
awesome.
you doing when no one is looking? You know what I mean? Are you
Mhm.
still working out? Are you still eating raw? Or are you sneaking off and having chips? Are you saying, forget yoga today. I don't need to stretch out. What are you doing when people aren't pushing you and it's
That's
just you, only by yourself and no one else is looking? That's when it really means something, when you're still doing the right thing.
That is amazing. I think that is so true. And then you know what else I was thinking too? When you know what something does, and like that's another thing, like how you've been feeling, and you know that the chips are going to raise blood pressure and it's going to really set you back on everything that you've been doing. You start to look at food like a source of like energy instead
Yeah.
of to keep your body right and to keep the digestion good and things like that, instead of looking at food like for like
Like
pleasure.
a comfort, like a
Yeah,
crutch
it's like
or a
alcohol.
comfort.
Like, yeah, that would be fun, but I can probably, eat a lot of grapes and feel that way and have fun too, because I'm also then be putting like alcohol, which is destroying my body at the same time,
And I'm
and like,
enjoying the sunflower seeds, like really more than I would of the chips, really. You
yeah,
know what
and
I
they're
mean?
like giving you that feeling of munching on something. That's what I think you
And
were
no
looking for.
barbecue. No
Comfort
barbecue. The
food.
plain ones are just as good as the barbecue. I forgot how good just the original ones are. And I'm like, damn, why was I tripping out over barbecue? I forgot how, I mean, I remember when I found out there were flavors because I was going through bags of just regular sunflower seeds from time to time. So I'm like, damn, these are good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Why was I tripping out about the barbecue? I forgot how good the original ones are. So,
And
yeah.
I think it's about making memories with new things for comfort. Like, I think I've been like eating this way for so long that I have new, like, especially even raw, like, I have emotional attachments to eating raw food, sitting down with my salad and preparing it and listening to my live streams, because it's been a long time that I've, been doing that off and on now. And you'll now have this, maybe your Super Bowl tradition, instead of like you wanted to lean on last year where you had chips and we had all this pizza and stuff here, like vegan pizza. But this year it might be creating a new memory of, okay, this is my like high raw Super Bowl where I'm going to get my sunflower seeds and my, and then when
I'm
you,
going to hydrate some cucumbers and have them ready on
yes, we do our
top.
dehydrated cucumbers where you're mixing all kinds. We might do wraps, and that would be even cooler next year if we could figure out how to get
Make
one.
our own wraps. Yeah.
Yeah, and do that. And that would be like a little treat so that it could help you stay emotionally attached to the experience, but not go completely to a level of that's taking you off of what you know is healthy for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's important. People don't realize those choices can still be fun, or you even might, I heard Eli talking about on Jillian, he was on there, and you can take it to another level. Like his cheat day is, he's like, I went out and treated myself to a durian. Like whatever level you're on, you have that thing that's like, what is your treat food? For me, it might be sushi, or
I'm scared of that damn durian, though. I keep hearing all the horror stories
and then I've
about
seen
it.
people love it. Like, I don't know what the deal is. I definitely, at some point, we're going to have to try it just to see. And it might
Oh,
be
man.
something like I didn't like avocados, and now like I love them. So, even though they don't have the perfect omegas like walnuts, I know.
Yeah.
That's another thing I've gotten to so deep into the health thing. Like, I'd be happy before, I was just like, oh, I'm going to eat an avocado. Now I'm ultra that the walnut omega ratio is a lot better than the avocado omega ratio. Like, this is how deep I've gone into this stuff, guys. It's
And
scary.
oh my God, this has been avocado week for me. I have eaten so much avocado because I love guac. And I make bowls of guac and I'll just sit there and I'll just munch out on some guac, which is good because that's natural keto. And you can get your body, like I've been back, working out. So I'll be burning fat and my body will be eating the natural fat. So I'm going to just be on this fat burning frenzy. You know what I mean?
That's
So I
awesome.
love that.
Boomer and Beyond actually said, now look at this. You've heard horror stories. She said durian is delicious.
See, I've never had it. I heard that it smells really bad and it can leave a weird taste and smell in your house and all that stuff. So you don't know unless you try it though. So Jen and I aren't the type of people to just let what other people say scare us away from at least trying something. If that's the case, I want to experience it for myself. Let me decide if I don't like it. You know what I mean? I may actually, because I hear onion or garlicky. I happen to like onions and garlic. So
Yeah,
I might be the person that actually likes the durian.
yeah,
So
you might. And then
yeah,
I think if you like, it's got like, is it sulfur or something in it that's really really healthy for us too, that we really need to have in our body. Muriel said you can make wraps with cabbage leaves or lettuce leaves. Yeah, definitely. Like,
right.
I've seen that like too. Like, that would be a good I used to actually take my salad, like that's how I would actually eat it. Remember? I used to get the spinach and put like a little sprout, like, and then dip it in my little dressing I would make. And like
Yep.
sometimes I still like to do that. I
I
didn't know
do remember that. Yeah.
I would make little lettuce wraps, I guess. I didn't even know they were lettuce
I
wraps.
do remember you doing the lettuce wraps and dipping them in. Wow. Wonder if we dehydrate
It's
some of the
healthy,
bitter
right?
leaves of lettuce and
Hmm.
how that would work out. That would be pretty cool.
That's it.
I'm
And
really curious to keep playing with this dehydrator.
yeah, because like I love keeping the water content in things, but especially if you're somebody who's like trying to eat healthier and don't want to go for the processed stuff, you can literally make like a little mix. I was thinking of you could even like dehydrate some, grapes and different fruits and make it. It's almost like like a treat that you could have
Yeah.
with like a if you were having a party or a Super Bowl where everybody doesn't maybe eat healthy, like maybe want to eat just raw fruits that day or like
Right.
whole fruits. Like I've just gotten like most days though, we've just been eating like the universe is so creative and the fruits and nature put together, God, the fruits, all these things that they're already little creations in themselves, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what like
Yes.
is awesome. And I know it's getting later. I saw you
I
look
know
down
I'm
at the
sitting there
time.
looking
I know
I'm
you
looking at
so
the Super
well,
Bowl.
right? I know you do.
I'm like looking at them. I think somebody's singing the national anthem or something. I'm like, okay, we're winding down here. I'm about to stop.
Yes. I I
But I loved
really
it. I love coming on because I couldn't let you do this whole thing without at least coming on and saying hi to everybody. I was working on a quick little video, but and sharing my journey with you guys because this has been amazing. I feel wonderful. I'm so glad I did it, and I'm going to continue to be doing it. I mean, it's not even like I'm counting days anymore. This is how I'm living now. This is not a it's not a countdown to anything. It's a just progression, you
yes.
know? So but I was the purposes of counting was to get by that 30-day mark, to try to get a month in. Once you get a month in, once you get a few days in, you can get a weekend. You get that weekend, you can get 2 weeks in. You can get 2 weeks in, damn it, you can double that and do a month. And then once you got a month, it's on and popping from there. Just get in 6 months. Then next thing you know, it's a year. Then the next
Mhm.
thing you know, you're 5 years vegan. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
5 years raw. So yeah.
I'm so excited and happy for you. And I think I restarted my really ultra healthy on like in January too. So the 2024 is a year of our health and wellness
Raw
and
journey.
exciting spreading the vegan word. And it's just about like I should have called this like top teams for the Super Bowl countdown or Super Bowl inspiring stories or something and got people to watch, right? We might have created some new vegans. Um,
Yeah. Well, they're
just
rolling
kidding.
a flag out onto the field now. That's pretty cool. Huh.
We'll see you guys soon. I'll be on here or I'll be doing the interview tomorrow. Hopefully that's still on. I saw a message from her. I'll share the link if it is. And then tomorrow I'll probably be on at some point because it's Meatless Monday and it's amazing transformations and I can't stop talking about this stuff. So I appreciate you all. Don't forget to just come and watch the channel, subscribe. Thank you for joining us today on YouTube. And everyone, enjoy your amazing transformations. Have a fun evening. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Muriel, Boomer and Beyond Wellness, Diana, thank you. Hi, Willow. Hi, Rogue, to the little kitties watching here.
Hi,
And then
everybody.
I wanted to thank Vivica for joining me for so long until she had technical difficulties. And Tessa, thank you for joining. I don't know if I missed anyone. I hope not. Angela, Boomer and Beyond, did I thank her?
Yes.
Yes. And Tessa, yes,
Yep.
all the way. I think I got everybody. And Dawn, thank you for coming on and for being so inspiring to me.
You're so welcome, baby. Thank you for having me. And I love all of you guys. Thank you for supporting her. She is so awesome to live with and to just go through this whole journey with, this whole thing called life with. You know, I mean, we're just going through life together. The vegan journey is just a facet of that. But either way, I love you and I love everything about this journey. And it does, it gets you in touch back with your emotions and things, right?
Yes.
eating raw
You get
and
really
yeah.
gratitude. Oh, speaking of that, I know we did a little video earlier, but thanks, Mom and Brooke, for all the vegan gadgets, and thank you to everyone
Yes.
who's been here on this journey. It's been amazing. You guys that come to these live streams, and Dawn, you're also inspiring, like one of the top people I would say to live with. I'm glad that
Oh,
you chose me.
I'm glad you chose me, baby. Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone.
See you guys.